Our ancestors built the first city as a beacon of peace on Earth. And it almost was. Until one night, an unseen force plucked it from the very face of the Earth and placed it under unfamiliar stars. It was a bountiful world with no sign of civilization. A world we named Paragon. With no way to return home, we adapted. New governments were built from the seeds of our past, and with them grew new ways of life. But the vices of old still festered. Organized crime bled out from the shadows and took root, preying on the foundation of our new home. But this world had one more surprise in store. A mysterious element in the atmosphere that gave a fraction of the population superhuman abilities. Under the leadership of the city's first hero, the Age of Legends had begun. 300 years later, Paragon thrives under the protection of its champions. And yet, the shadows of the past still linger. When darkness rises, it will fall to the next generation of young heroes to defend the first city. Welcome to the First City, the show where Big Robot is a state of mind.
State of being.
It's a state of being. Yeah, for me, that state of being is just called autism, but you know. So, previously on the First City. After being mysteriously and suddenly teleported by a familiar shadow entity,
We got.
you immediately heard a scream, saw these two desert armor-clad teenagers fighting for their lives against this huge worm with diggy arms that would be known as the Gravedigger. You fought it off, made a deal, sort of came to an understanding with these two, and were brought to the place where they live, a place that you were familiar with from research with Detective Asher, or rather Director Asher, and it is Stonekeep City or Village, a sort of thriving community of different people with sort of different roles that they help out. Some are scrappers, some are guardians. They all have their different roles to play. Many are hunters, which was very familiar for Haramone, and that was sort of the role that you took in bringing this worm. You spoke to Elder Makoto, the sort of unofficial leader of this community, and were informed that you were welcome to stay here. Silhouette, however, noted that while your phones can easily be charged, they don't have the capability to send a long-range message back home. You'll need to get entirely new circuit boards. So, on a suggestion from Elder Makoto, you went and visited the leader of the Scrappers, named Robin, who informed you that he would like to take a trip sort of out into the desert where a great battle was once waged, and there lies a horrifying Sentinel robot that many of the scrappers and hunters are too afraid to face. However, as they're starting to run out of these mechanical resources, he purports that if you were to destroy this creature, then they would have more resources. Everyone from Stonekeep would be able to have access via the scrappers. So you agreed to this meeting, learned a bit more about the city, and then retired for the night in guest quarters in a cave sort of up against the hill where guests have been housed before. You noticed a board of sorts, almost like a chalkboard where names have been scratched in, or initials and signatures of people who have stayed here before, one being the very familiar emblem of Helix's parents, the Moons. And as we faded off of that night, morning comes warmly seeping through the cracks in the door. You all sort of come to consciousness, ready for a new day. And we'll start you guys there. How do you start your day?
Oh boy.
Hungry, food, water.
All the essentials.
Yeah.
Elegant as always.
Atmosphere. BB will get up and kind of rub the sleep out of her eyes and then look around at the squad and get up and go out to try to track down the smell of food.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and this place gets up early.
Okay.
A lot of people start setting up even before the sun comes up, but just before. And so there already is a smell of like spiced meat and roasting largely desert creatures that are just being made down below, down in the streets that are already starting to wake up as shops are being set up.
Dope. Does anything look particularly good?
I think that's a BB question.
Yeah,
What does BB like to eat?
What kind of animals are out in the desert? I think she'd probably go for something exotic, like a lizard.
Yeah. If you recall before, when you met the leader of the hunters, Sawtooth Choi, she was carving up a very large, almost like Komodo dragon-sized lizard with these big sharp claws that had been harvested off.
I'll look for something like that and get a few skewers or what have you to take back to the group.
Mm-hmm. I think there's like this roasted, spiced tail meat skewer that is very good.
Yeah, she's probably munching on one of those as she heads back and enters back into our domicile.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
I got food.
Everyone just like from their like space, just like reaches up, is like, bah.
BB puts it in your hand.
Grabs it.
Mhm.
Thank you. Nom, 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 nom.
Passes another one out to Jeremy. Sorry, Jeremy, what?
Jeremy is just gonna exchange the skewer for a bag of clothes, and he says, "I got you something while I was shopping yesterday."
Oh. Chewing sounds. Thank you. She looks at what's in the bag. What fit did he get us?
What's in
Well,
the bag?
For you,
What's in the bag?
I got you like a mustard yellow, like full on cowboy suit with like a vest and things, and what are they called? The shoes.
Boots?
Yes, but the boots,
Spurs?
spurs. Thank you. Full pair of cowboy spurs and like a mustard yellow cowboy hat, but there's no pockets. So instead, I got you 8 holsters, and those are your pockets.
BB looking straight up like Curious George's the man in the yellow hat and the shit. He's like, wow, 8 holsters. I didn't think you could have that many holsters. Thank you.
No pockets, only holsters. And Jeremy will then throw a bag at Silhouette and Harrimone too. Harrimone's, you got like a big full body poncho, a pair of spurs, and boots as well, and a big old sombrero with like green and yellow little balls that hang off the edge of it.
So
We're talking
tactically
like-
smart.
We're talking like a whole big old thing in. And Silhouette gets like a bandana and like a bandito desperado hat. What else did I get? Silhouette. I'm trying to remember. Also boots and spurs. We all got matching boots and spurs. And yeah, I think that's it. I think that's all that Jeremy got Silhouette, because he might have been running out of money or something.
Yeah, and she's been stocking up a little bit too, just repairing her more mechanical devices. And you see that she is in more of a mechanical mode than she is a digital mode. And you see how easily she slots into that. She's like, you're seeing scrappy silhouette here. And so she's got like wrenches in a holster, and she's still got her whip thing, her hubba bubba whip. I think that's gonna stick. That's still it, like in the main holster, and she's got other stuff just like ready to go. And she's very determined right now, very focused. And as she looks around at the stuff, she starts putting it on. She's like, then she just chomps.
Jeremy got himself, and you can see that he'll start putting it on as he's also chomping on his thing. He got like, while BB's hat is like that mustard yellow, his is like a crisp black and just like a duster, and replacing his dress shoes finally with boots. And he's still wearing like the same like dress, like slacks and vest and dress shirt, but now he's just got that nice cowboy elegance to him.
Mm-hmm.
Hell yeah.
I think in order to make like the fit actually tactical, Haramon will tie a belt cord, whatever, and cinch in the poncho. So it's still like doing poncho things, but it's just cinched in, so it's not gonna get caught on anything as much. Yes.
Solid.
So as we finish our meal, like, did anyone stay here with us? Are the two people that we met around?
Shay and Connor?
Yeah, Shay and Connor.
Shay and Connor are now, having been inducted into the Hunters, you'll mostly find them there. As things are being set up, you see, since they're kind of new initiates, they're helping out with the sort of passing off of the meats from the Hunters over to those who are going to cook. So you'll see them shuffling around, and every so often they'll make note of you and they'll say hi, and but they look pretty busy.
Gotcha. Do we see Robin anywhere around to start heading out on this expedition?
You actually don't. I would say you would have arranged to go back to his like big office inside the machine shop and set out from there, because you're going to take a vehicle, probably a skiff. So you'll have to meet him there in the garage. And you get the feeling that most of his work doesn't take place out here anyway. Most days you'll find him in there during business hours.
Well, should we head over to Robin's then, gang?
Let us head ass.
Let's go.
Onwards we go.
Mm-hmm. Oh, actually, before we head ass out of here, Haramon will sign the rock guest book.
Cute. I forgot about that.
Is it like the Helix parents are like in the middle and then there's stuff around it, or are they like one of the more later editions? So there's not as much signatures and stuff around their little thingy.
It doesn't look like they're arranged in order of chronology.
It's just like, I want this spot.
Yeah, people just sort of sign where they can, where there's room.
Okay.
So I don't think it would be possible to kind of figure out what the most recent entries are. Yeah.
Is there space around there?
I just wanted to say that, I mean, Jeremy did sign it last night, so you can probably guess that that's probably one of the most recent ones.
Yes.
There's space around it just because it's actually an image. Most of them are initials or signatures, whereas theirs is like a image of a moon. So there is more room around it, almost just out of deference for a piece of art.
I want to sign it next to my bestie's parents' signature. Art signature.
And as Haramon does this, I think now, because Haramon was the one who noticed that before, I think you guys, if you want to have seen that, you can at that point realize that is there.
And is this guest house does Robin own it?
No, it's not really owned by anyone. It is
Who do we ask
curated and
about
kept
who
up.
assigned the guest book? I guess that's a more accurate question.
Yeah.
Because I'd like to know, like it'd be interesting to know why they were here when they were here and what they
So
did.
that's going to be the neighbors.
Okay.
And the neighbors, their whole role, as it was sort of conveyed to you guys, was that they settle any personal disputes. They try to mediate things, make sure things don't escalate into like violent disagreements. They essentially are like, this place doesn't have a government, but sometimes there needs to be an arbiter.
Mhm.
So we provide that when necessary.
Gotcha.
When it's necessary to have just guards and the hunters or the scrappers don't step in to protect in dangerous situations, the neighbors have people who step in and do that as well, who just sort of patrol, keep order when necessary. But
Are they
largely
like
it
a
isn't.
literal neighborhood watch, or are they like
Kind of, but they're
okay,
more like a neighborhood resource, if because they keep up places like this that are
for sure?
making space for new people, and they do largely deal with when new people come in. They make sure that they're brought to Makoto, they get them settled, show you how it works around here. You would probably have to deal with them if you were going to stay here. And I think the main reason you haven't is because you put out a pretty clear signal of like, we're not trying to live here,
We're chill.
Yeah. Can we find a neighbor?
Yeah, you could go to the head of the neighbors if you want to.
Sure, yeah, let's go.
So the neighbors are actually pretty centrally located. They're almost the way that Makoto is out toward the far northern end, where this horseshoe of hills frame the city. They're in that vicinity, but lower down on the level of just the streets. And you step inside there and find like it is cooler. They are blowing small like bursts of mist to keep things cool in here, have air circulating. There's still that natural lighting coming in from windows they've created in the back on the sort of on the wall in the hills. Some of them naturally forming, so natural light can just come in here. And there are different rooms for privacy. You actually do notice doors in here. There's a nice little hollowed out space. And you notice it's not super busy at the moment. There aren't a ton of people in here. And the people who are not, really wearing any sort of armor or anything. These are people just wearing hides and clothes because they're not expecting to have to do anything particularly dangerous. And as you step inside, there is a figure who emerges, and you notice I'm gonna say your best estimate is this person could be early 50s, but looks very well kept and neat. His hair is shoulder length and dark brown, but starting to go gray. And it's just tucked back behind his ears. And you notice that he is coming in on a wheelchair that's been tricked out a little bit by the scrappers, you presume, because
Fresh.
he's operating it mechanically.
Dope.
Aw.
Hey, are you the head of the neighbors?
I am.
Oh,
Will Goodwin. It's a pleasure to meet you. I was actually
hi.
hoping I would get to.
Pleasure to meet you. I'm BB. So my friends. We were just staying in that really nice guest house that you guys have, and we saw that kind of registry book thing. And we saw this symbol on it, and I'll like show an image of the symbol. Was it a name or was it just the symbol of the family?
It was the symbol and their initials.
Oh, okay. This symbol and then these initials next to them. We think that these actually might be related to a friend of ours back home where we come from. How long ago did whoever stayed there and left these markings pass through, and where did they go?
He does sigh audibly and half opens his mouth and closes it. And then he smiles very warmly as he looks up at you and he says, I'm sorry. I am, of course, appreciative of what you've done here and will give you nothing but my trust and respect. However, as a member, as well as the leader of the neighbors, there is a certain amount of upholding what this place is and represents, and that is safety. Part of that is also discretion. If someone were to come through in some unnamed number of years' time and ask about you, I would offer the same courtesy of non-disclosure. People need to feel that they can be a part of something here without having to worry about the rest of the world coming to look for them.
This is a question to Karina and Ben. Did we decide last episode that we were hiding where we were from? Have we okay, no, I thought that we
I mean,
did.
Jeremy right in front of what's the dude's name that was dying when we Connor?
Connor,
Right.
yeah.
I mean, he pretty much right in front of Connor asked where the hell First City was in relationship to where we were. So like,
Yeah, bet.
cat's
Okay.
out of the bag.
And a lot of
yeah.
people who we've talked to have figured it out.
Yeah.
So
For
And
sure.
you basically told Elder Makoto as well, so
Yeah.
it is known that you guys are friends. You know, 'cause
Gotcha. I
nobody
just wanted to
cares.
make sure that that
Yeah.
was fully known. When people will say that makes sense. It's just that a friend of ours has been separated from his parents for a long time. So if these people come back through, do we know their names?
Yes.
His parents?
Yes, Kurt and Lila Moon.
If whoever left the symbol comes back through and their names are Kurt and Lila Moon, tell them their son is waiting for them at Moonlight Academy.
I see. And he looks at you for quite a long moment with that warm smile still there.
And he's been waiting a really long time.
You folks have been through a lot. I know it must be jarring to find yourselves here. Though I can't tell you everything about their stay, or much at all, really, I will give you that they were kind and determined. And I'm quite certain they found what they were looking for.
Huh. Good to know. Thank you for being so hospitable to us. I probably should have said that first. My bad. We're gonna go into the kind of waste with Robin today to collect some stuff. Is there anything that we can pick up for your community while we're out there?
Well,
As a
that's
favor.
very, very generous of you. For myself specifically, I know there has been a concern about the Sentinel guarding what appears to be the last easily accessible, shall we say, round of vehicles with usable parts. We're at no shortage at the moment, though in the future, that could be an issue. I imagine that should you be successful in your goal, the scrappers will organize a second run to collect what they can. But I do believe in not taking more than we need. There's looking ahead, and then there's hoarding. We may not be the only community living out here as well. There are people on their own. they should be able to find what they need as well. So I should think not.
All the easier for us. Well, we'll go take care of that robot.
I think you just might.
We'll see. We're pretty good at this kind of stuff. Folks, is there anything that we need to grab still? Looking at the group.
Paramount, you want that booty call with Sawtooth or something?
Shut
That
up. Shut up. Shut up. There's a nice man here. Shut the fuck up.
Hermon fully punches
Yeah.
Jeremy in the face.
Up.
Oh!
I mean, is there like equivalent to what I've been giving out that I can get back in terms of like good herbs that do painkiller medical stuff? So that might be good.
Herbs that do. Full disclosure, I was reading my notes for something, so I didn't fully hear the question.
Because like Harriman's been giving like Phoebe and Connor and like all of their like essentially painkillers. And I would like some of that back. But if they don't have an equivalent here, then it's fine to not have it. Because it's not like a healing thing, it's like a narrative, like I carry painkillers on me and they're special. You know, they're special from the place I'm from.
There are herbs that we harvest that are readily accessible to the people here. You would be welcome to a share.
Hell yes.
You know, on the subject of things to find, I don't have any scrap requests, but I do wonder. Elder Makoto tells me that you were inquiring about people who had gone missing from our community. If you are going out to face the Sentinel, I should tell you there was another who did try to make such a journey. It was getting near a year ago now. He thought he would be able to use his very particular ability to sort of maneuver himself around the Sentinel without being harmed, even if he was detected. He never came back, and it was assumed that the Sentinel killed him. But of course, no one has been able to get close enough to even search for his remains. If you happen to see him, he did have friends here. They would appreciate the closure of knowing that he had died.
What is his name?
His name... No, I won't say was. Names persist. His name is Aaron.
How tall was Aaron?
Fairly tall and thin.
I'm like 5'9", please. I don't know what tall and short is.
Perhaps 6 foot.
Thank you.
You would... Well, his remains might be difficult to find. He was a teleporter.
Fuck.
That's horrifying to think about. Thank you.
Just floating this, because we seem to be collecting stories of our friends' parents. This couldn't be Porter's. Do we know anything about Porter's parents?
No, no, you don't.
I know teleportation is pretty common, but
Well, my first initial, I don't actually remember the name of the person that Veritas called this person, which might be a moot point once Ian reminds us. But the person who almost yeeted us away out of Blackstone that Veritas called forth.
oh,
Veritas said the name Lane when referring to that person, but that
For sure.
person was tall and skinny.
And a teleporter.
And a teleporter.
yeah,
Whoa. I'm Sissy.
yeah. We'll keep our eyes out for anybody out there.
Much
How
appreciated.
long ago was that?
About a year.
Right. Okay. Yeah, you said that. Sorry, my bad. Yeah. Thank you so much for your help. You've been really kind.
Of course. Good luck.
Adios. Roll out.
Autobots.
I just want everybody to know that I did have to look at my hands in order to remember how to write a capital L. So just
Iconic.
enjoy that, internet.
I love that we all fully pulled up to this random meeting with this random person in full cowboy gear. It came into my mind that we're all wearing like bright yellow cowboy outfits, and that's incredible. Looking like a Wes Anderson-esque movie.
Okay.
What do you got for us, Robin?
So you head back to the machine shop and you see that there is an early shift, but there's not a huge new shipment of scrap right now. There hasn't been a run recently, so they don't have a lot to do. Mostly there are people working on personal projects, forging weapons. You see there's a lot of there's a rotation where there are things that they might have needed before that are currently not needed. So they're on a rotation of melting things down and reforging them into something else that's useful for the community now. And they have a really good system of doing that. They can reforge and reforge things in perpetuity, practically, at this point. But you notice that in the garage area, there is a fairly wide skiff with a propulsion system that is much heftier than the one that Silhouette retrofitted onto Connor and Shay's skiff. And it has railing on the sides and almost like a truck bed in the back. And it's on struts at the moment, but it looks like this thing could probably haul quite a bit more heavy items. And it seems like it's prepared. And there are people who are out who are working on it, tuning it up, getting it ready. And I think you would see... you would see Robin overseeing that work. This familiar visage of a smallish, kind of gangly man built for speed. Completely hairless, but with that black diamond tattooed mohawk. As he's just sort of going, no, this goes here. Turn counterclockwise. Everything myself. Oh, hey, gang.
I forgot this was his voice. I just thought of something, actually. Hermone is a close range fighter and a fighter of the organic, not really the inorganic. So it's probably best. Can we say that I just also got some sort of projectile weapon, also fancy, compound bow or something? Not fancy, but scrapper compound bow or whatever.
Bow or crossbow?
Whatever works. Hermone's more familiar with a bow.
A bow would be easier to get.
A bow.
Yeah. You may have had to trade for it. But you have your worm stuff, and that goes a long way. So
yeah. Okay, cool.
Yeah, that's fine. You notice though that Robin is pretty decked out at this moment as well, and you see that he has this white, flowing, long, almost silken-looking vest, almost like mine, but white. That seems to flow around him, and underneath it are just strapped tools similar to silhouettes, but a lot more streamlined and lightweight. And there's a certain amount that are in these toolboxes that are built into the actual skiff as well. And he loads a couple things into that. But one thing that you notice is there is this, again, like mechanically tricked out, scrapper-fied compound crossbow. And he has a quiver very similar to one that you've seen from your friend Troubleshooter that deposits arrows. It's closed so he can like flip around and they won't come out, but he can open it up with a button and it'll like deposit a bolt. I should be saying bolt for a crossbow. Yeah. And you see that he does test that out. He hits a little button on his wrist and you see and a bolt comes out, takes it, tests the tip, puts it back in. He goes, I'm ready to roll whenever you are.
Let's roll then. Let's hit it. What time in the morning is it?
I would say it should be pretty early.
Okay. I just want to know how BB is dealing with his energy at 6 in the morning. It's not well.
It could be. I was thinking because it could be like in the 8s or 9s too. But
yeah, that's also fine.
Whatever. As much daylight as you guys wanted to have, should be pretty early though on his recommendation.
That makes sense.
I think. Well, also the sun's gonna get pretty high in the sky.
Yeah.
And we should probably be fighting this thing before it hits the peak temperature of the day. So I would probably wager it's actually closer to 7 or 8.
Sure.
I'll buy that. I'm good. So we hop aboard the skiff.
Mm-hmm.
I think BB will sit if there's like a gunner position. BB will kind of sit near that and be on the lookout for anything that they may need to take shots at. If I could get that sentence out of my mouth.
Solid. So, as you all board the skiff, you have this readout, essentially. Readout is the wrong word. A diagram that was drawn up and given to you of the Sentinel's specs and what you can expect from this thing. And that thing, just for the audience's edification, I have given the party a recreation of that. There's that one.
Oh.
Everybody has a...
Oh my
you
God.
cannot see that.
You cannot see it because of the light.
Yeah.
Oh no. Well,
maybe we'll post it. We can post it later
Yeah,
or
we'll
something.
post
This
it
is like a
later.
behind the
You can
scenes sort of a
find
thing.
Or edit it in.
Yeah,
Or
like
Or
right
that-
now. Wow, look at it. It's so
Whoa,
great.
a
There it is
graphic.
on screen.
Whoa.
Yeah. Wow.
kind of looks like a snail.
But yeah, so you guys have access to that. So as the garage doors open and Robin begins to drive you, you find this thing is fast. So this thing is heavy duty and it's designed to still go at a decent speed when it's weighed down with really heavy stuff. So when there's nothing in it, it's fucking fast.
We're zooming, dude.
And it is flying across the desert. And there's this moment where the garage doors open and there's just like, whoa, as the light streams in. He cackles just like this. And then you fly off. And it does make a vroom sound when it first goes, but then it's pretty quiet.
Yes.
This is the Prius of skiffs.
Yeah.
Or the
What is
Tesla
it?
of skiffs.
What is its propulsion? Is it like a combustion engine or is it like sci-fi?
It seems to be
Repulsive?
some kind of repulsor. It's like kind of a magnetism situation.
Either way.
A lot of the repulsor technology back in the first city, or really anywhere that is more of a city and not like just a desert, will be more magnetic in terms of actually playing off of the fact that most of the streets have metal in them. You know, things are built to facilitate maglev technology. That's not as much happening here. This is more creating an electromagnetic field in and of itself to go.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I like that.
So it has more oomph when it first kicks in.
I'm looking at this robot diagram again.
Mhm.
You're fucked up for this one.
Yeah,
This shit's
so
crazy.
on that subject, you guys have about an hour travel
God.
on the way there. And
At the speed we're going,
at the speed you're going.
which is insane, very far away. So I mean, we gotta go for the arms, all four of the arms first, and then the drones as well, right?
I was thinking we have to go for because they're rapid fire turrets, so they could fuck us up real quick. It's easy to dodge big arms, but a rapid fire turret that can follow you.
Yeah.
I mean, we can also divide and conquer. I think that might be a move because I think BB would be more suited for the turrets, whereas Jeremy and Hermone might be more suited for
The arms.
the arms.
Yeah, I mean, I can assist with the drones and then move to the arms.
Right, because you have
so we like take those down for because the last time we had to deal with drones, it didn't end so well for me.
That's
So-
exactly what I was thinking about, and that's what I was like. That has to go first. We are done with that shit.
Well, this thing's got a pretty advanced AI system as well. It may not even deploy the drones unless it registers enough of a threat.
Oh, we can make it register enough of a threat.
Yeah, and I mean, we can stay out of the reach of the arms and damage the arms to then make it deploy the drones and then take out the drones and then finish the arms.
Mm-hmm.
Because see, I can do this, and BB points out like her hand out of the skiff, and then does a sonic boom into the sand and just sends sand flying everywhere. And if we do that from far enough away, I'm sure that it'll send out some kind of protective measures against it.
Certainly possible. You're saying create some sort of distraction well out of its sensor range, but not out of its visual sensor range rather, but within its motion sensor range. So it sends one out to investigate.
More out of its reach than anything. Just like at the point where it can send its drones to investigate, but not use its own body to try to attack us.
I see.
But it could be a twofer. It could be out of visual, but within motion, and also like what BB said.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yep.
Well, however you want to play it, we'll park ourselves far enough away.
Are the arms? Do they seem to only pop up in one spot, or do they like go down, burrow, and pop up in other spots?
That.
So, what we could do is because have you tested how far each arm can actually like stretch out?
Oh yeah, it's in the diagram.
Which is
About 20-foot reach.
20-foot reach. But what I'm saying is, if based on this diagram, there are 4 arms total. 2 little armies, and then 2 saw blade arms. If we went to one side of this thing, I assume 2 of the arms
Oh, I see what you're
would
saying.
follow us, and then the other 2 arms would also follow. Maybe,
Yeah.
maybe.
But they might not be able to reach that far.
Exactly.
Is that what you're saying? Yeah, I
what
agree.
I'm thinking is we can go to one side, deal with 2 arms first, and then deal with the other 2 arms once the first 2 arms are taken care of, rather than deal with 4 arms at one time.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
You can certainly try, but all the arms are capable of reaching within that radius around it.
I see. That was my question. The question has been answered.
I say we just start out using me, BB, and you, Hermone, and we just plink away at its main body. And I mean, once we do that and we stay out of its range, then it'll probably send its drone out, assuming that it doesn't just get up and try and squish us, which...
So, okay. It says here the carapace is difficult to damage, correct? Has there been any type of damage that seems more effective than others? Have you even gotten to that stage of research?
Yeah, I mean, the few who actually have gotten close enough have done little more than glance off of its surface.
Mhm.
Now, your penetrating energy projectiles could be a very different story. I will say, hitting it with a spear if you hit hard enough, you might just crack through. There are scratches on its surface from people who have done so with a chain spear, but no one's gotten all the way through because no one's lived long enough to stay there long enough to cut through.
I think maybe what we should do then is if we can, if you, BB, can lob a shot far enough, you should try to hit the main carapace in the visual sensor range.
I can try that.
I could also just put a fire on it because I can pretty much make fires as far as I can see. I've never really fully tested the range, but I can go pretty far.
True.
We can try both. I mean, I
Yeah.
think getting the visual sensor off is, I think there's two part one priorities, and one is the turrets, and two is the visual sensor.
Yeah. So deal with drones, and then once the drones are dealt with and we're ready to deal with the arms, we should try to block the visual sensors if we can.
Just so we're not leaving any avenues unexplored, BB turns to Silhouette. Is there any way you can remote hack into this thing? I know that we don't have reception out here, I guess, but I don't know. Given where technology is at in this part of the world, I think this might be a form of attack that hasn't necessarily been tried on a Sentinel yet.
Well, hacking in generally comes from a place of understanding what type of software I'm getting into. Without knowing exactly what this thing is made of, I'm not entirely sure I'd be able to get in. I can try. I can certainly try, but it will be incredibly difficult.
And would that be remote, or would you have to get close to the main structure?
I'm not sure if I'm the guy to get close to the main structure.
Well, if you take the skiff, if we can sneak the skiff past, because this thing is fast. So if we can just zoom you past all the arms fast enough for you to get to the main carapace, so you could just like plug in or find a way to plug in, and then we're distracting the arms and the drones are taken care of, so it can't even send the drones after you. It's really risky. I'm not saying we should, it's just an option. It's really risky, really dangerous, and you would kind of be on your own.
But if we're unable to get the visual sensors out, your invisibility would be make you the perfect person to do this.
Well, it's got motion sensors.
That's true. But
so
wouldn't that be? No, I guess it'd be based on touch and movement on that way, and not visual. Yeah, for sure.
It has a tendency to rely on the motion sensors more than the visual sensors. The visual sensors seem to me, though we don't have the most solid data on the matter, the visual sensors seem to just be able to see farther beyond its motion range so that it can see threats coming. Up close, it'll be relying on the motion sensors much more heavily.
I mean, does it even seem like there's a place, an access point that Silhouette could get into?
Meanwhile, the son of a bitch is 30 feet tall, and the panels that slot open to release the drones could theoretically open up a vulnerability there in the plating. As far as that being an access point for hacking, I have no idea, but Silhouette goes, oh, well, hold on now, though. A 30-foot tall, massive creature with 4 arms, all carrying out different functions. This is an immensely complex machine. Hacking into it without even knowing what its software is near impossible. But a single drone? Probably much easier.
Oh my God. You're so smart. Okay, so we need at least one drone taken down but not out, so that Silhouette can get her hands on it.
That's pretty easy. We can do that.
Yeah.
So taking out the visual sensor. We're taking out one drone and incapacitating another, and then the arms.
Yeah, I mean, we don't know how many drones this thing has total inside its body, but the panels that slot away to reveal them, we have been able to shoot down a few of the drones over time. There are fewer than there once were. Best we can tell, there's only 2 left. But there could be more in that. We're just judging on how many obvious panels there are to slot away and where they're positioned on the body. There could be more. It could build more inside its body. We don't know what this thing is.
Okay.
But rough estimate, 2 drones.
Rough estimate, 2 drones. If there's more than 2 drones, we'll just keep shooting at drones.
How far are we out from it right now?
I think depending on where you want to be in the conversation, you could be close.
I think we're pretty much wrapped. I think we have a plan,
Okay.
essentially.
I think we know what we're doing.
Then I think you guys get to a point where a safe margin, like its visual range could be, if you can see it, it sees you,
Mhm.
And what you notice as you're driving out there into the wastes, the rockiness of the desert starts to fade away. And you start to realize why this place was this big, just killing field during the battles that you've now heard about. Because it is just open, rolling dunes. You can see everything around you for miles. There are no hills, there are no rocks. And it is also why it is the perfect location for such a sentinel. And you do see it. Shall we say you're maybe 300 feet out when you park? Or do you want to go farther?
That's fine, yeah.
Well, I'm trying to I'm trying to envision a football field, right? And a football field is 100 yards, right? Because it's 50 and 50.
I have no idea.
Yeah, I don't.
That's so much more sports than me.
Ben knows what I'm talking about. Ben's got me. So that's a football field
So we're
is
one
300.
football field away.
Yes.
That's pretty close.
It's pretty
That's
close.
pretty fucking close.
Do you think it's close enough for BB and BB and Jeremy to be able to hit shots?
Oh yeah.
I'd say we should probably take it like half a mile out because we don't want our skiff getting damaged in the fight either. And also, that's like really close.
If the arms are only a 20-foot reach, the drones can reach us anywhere, so it doesn't really matter.
BB's skill is sharpshooting, so I think she's good wherever. I mean, as long I think half a mile is probably an unrealistic distance for someone to offhand.
I'm just saying, like, we get off at half a mile and then walk in, because just like rolling up on a skiff a football field away, that's just like pretty obvious.
Yeah.
for sure. But the skiff can move quickly, right?
Yeah.
What about quarter mile instead of half mile?
Yeah,
Half
let's
mile is
say
kind of
that.
far to walk.
That works for me.
Okay.
So there are a couple of things that you notice first. Because it is significantly larger, it's the only massive structure for miles. You do see this, for all intents and purposes, obelisk. It is slate black and shining, a perfect geometric pyramid, emerging godlike out of the sand, pointing up toward the sun. Robin wasn't kidding. Its surface is immaculate. If there are scratches on it, you can't see them from here. Now, you don't see any arms at the moment. You imagine that they are currently subterranean. And you can just barely see the glint of that black strip of screen. It is very well camouflaged against the black slate metal surface. But there is this little red eye that is just constantly circling around, right near the tip. And all around it, lying in the desert, practically unscathed, are a battalion of vehicles used for war. There are tanks turned on their side. The weapons seem to have been immobilized with one strike. The actual guns that are sticking out, you see that there's just like a clean, sawed-off edge. The reason why so many of them seem to be intact, it looks like it's because this thing took them out precision. Didn't waste any time. Just went for the crucial spots. You notice there are a lot of Jeep-like vehicles that are like open, but they are armored. And again, the wheels have been completely destroyed. And in some cases, it looks like the engine has had just like a spike through it. It's just like crunched in. But
Good call, Ben. To park us a bit out.
the front
Very
of it
good
is,
call.
the front of them are mostly intact. A lot of these vehicles, you notice, could be salvageable, possibly even usable with a little love. And Silhouette is really focusing on that. She's seeing them even from this distance. But I think among the more interesting things that you would notice are these sleek black jets with crimped up wings that come up and then down, that are just half buried nose first, having been shot down around it. There are, from what you can see from this distance, maybe 3 of those in varying conditions, but again, mostly like fixable by someone who knows how.
We're
It's a
about to
treasure
have a
trove
jet.
of war, guarded by this towering pyramid in the center. Almost like a dragon's hoard.
Imagine pulling up at school with a jet when you know that the only other student who's going to have a jet is Mr. Menagerie.
And his isn't tricked out for war.
Jeremy is going to look around at the group and say, so last chance to turn and raid Marigold City if anybody wants to.
BB's whispering, war jet, war jet, war jet.
Our jet could beat up Mr. Menagerie's jet.
He
This
goes,
is Top Gun now.
Mr. Menagerie. Stupid.
Thank you. Thank you. That's what I thought at first too, but he's a really nice guy. And the name does suit him, strangely enough. So BB will start to like deplane. She'll get off the skiff and just start stretching and getting everything ready to run.
Okay. How do you guys want to
Do
begin this encounter?
We all drink a bottle of water because we're
Yep.
about to sweat our asses off.
Stay hydrated. It has a little bit of coconut water in
Let's
This is
slam
what
a
I have here.
monster real quick. Slam a Red Bull.
it.
Get some 5-hour energy going.
I mean, I feel like once we feel like we're getting close enough, we could at least try to like crawl in the sand because we are pretty sand colored
We are.
currently. So we could try to like get as close as possible to the thing without hitting its motion sensor range. But like see if it will even recognize us in its visual sensor, like just to test like
Yeah.
how smart its visual sensor actually is. Because if we move correctly enough, we could just look like sand.
If we
moving
sand
with the
walk,
wind.
like we're on some Dune shit. No, I feel you. Like, yeah, we could look like, yeah. I'm willing to try that.
And then if it doesn't work, we'll know it immediately because it'll be like, oh no, there's
Sure.
people here.
Shall we do it?
So do you guys want to roll stealth?
I mean, Silhouette can just be invisible, so she doesn't have to do shit. But I guess we roll stealth.
Let's
Yeah.
roll stealth.
What is stealth again? Is it-
Generally, it's agility.
Okay.
That's a 0 out of 1 for me, boss.
Roll. Is this a
Out
group
of 1
check?
on the D6.
Or is this an individual check?
2 out of 3.
I would say it's probably a group check, right? Yeah.
I also got 2 out of 3.
2 out of 3, 2 out of 3, Jeremy.
0 out of 1.
0 out of 1.
I'm wearing a
And-
black hat and black Duster, all right. I stand out.
And then Silhouette's 3 out of 5. So everyone got kind of above a middling success. This is not against an active perception. It's going to be against a kind of a passive perception of it just watching. And given that that was a majority success, you guys can, at least until you get into that 100-foot motion sensor radius, get as close as you feel sort of down to the ground without being detected.
I think 105, 110 feet.
Okay.
Because from that point, that's pretty close. And I think it gives BB and Jeremy better shots, like better chances to hit their shots.
I'd err on the side of caution and say like 120, because that's still pretty close, but it's
Yeah.
also like we don't know for certain like how far the motion goes out. It says at least 100 foot, so
Yeah.
That's 40 yards. So
Knowing that
math.
there's literally nothing to hide behind.
Yeah. This is just for the initial surprise to enact the plan.
Yeah. But what I'm saying is, in order to say that you have successfully stealth, because you did with the dice, I would say that it's probably just a matter of staying low or watching for where that eye is looking and like going and then getting low and then going and then getting low.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Red light, green light, that shit.
Squid Game? Pog?
Stop it.
But for the time being, it is precarious to hang around in one spot too long because it is constantly looking and you're closer now. So when its eye circles to you, there is a chance that it will see you the longer you stay in one place.
Well, I think when we hit that sort of, we're like stopping because that doesn't have any auditory, right? So we can just talk. Right?
You're
Robin?
not he goes, I have honestly no idea what it can hear or not. I mean, we've always been quiet, but
we will stage whisper. I think when it's like at the backside going around, it's like, okay, BB, go time.
So
Hell
Harriman
yeah. And
hits
so
it from the back.
BB takes yeah, she'll go for the big shot first, the laser shot, not the concussive blast. So I'm just kind of shooting. I'm just going for it.
yeah, what are you just shooting at its body?
I'm gonna shoot at its eye if I can. Its visual sensor.
Jeremy is also shooting at the same time, right? At the same target?
If you want
I
to.
mean,
Yeah, you
why
guys
not?
have a surprise round, so
All right, cool.
I could also do it. I don't know how much ammo I have. Probably enough. Oh God. Maybe I need to have Haramon train in ranged weaponry because I keep hitting shots.
Wait, I forgot that I can reroll one.
so if you're shooting at its motion sensor,
Visual.
yeah, the visual sensor, that is a called shot on a smaller target. So it is either going to get an advantage against it or you will have a disadvantage on your shot. I think equal to sort of a sliding scale of smallness of the target.
Well, I think because it's a surprise round,
Yeah.
it should get advantage rather than us disadvantage because it's not doing anything.
Why would
Does
it
that
get
make sense?
advantage at all though on a surprise round? Isn't that the point of a surprise round?
Because called shots are their own mechanic. If you're just
okay.
trying to hit a creature, that's one thing, right? That's just a regular attack. If you're trying to hit a specific small target, say if it were a human target and you're like, I want to shoot this guy in the eye, or I want to try and cut this guy's hand off or something, right? Those are called shots that are just a little bit harder to do. So it's a squishier target that is harder to hit.
Okay.
If that makes sense.
Can I actually, because BB and Jeremy are focusing down on the eye, can I actually change my target for my shot to be one of the panels that the drones come out of? Just to see, as like a tester shot, to see like how that reacts to like getting shot. Okay.
A tester shot at.
One of these little panels where the drones come out of.
You want to shoot it simultaneously with everyone else, or you want to
Yes.
do it for?
Bye bye.
That's unfortunate.
I want to do it simultaneous.
Okay.
But just because I was gonna also shoot at the eye, but if they're both shooting at the eye, I want to cover more ground, so I'm gonna try to shoot at one of the drone panels instead.
Okay, I've had a thought, and here's my thought.
We've had to think. Yes.
You would normally get full advantage for a surprise round. It would be a disadvantage on the called shot. So it evens out, and we're just going to roll normal.
Okay.
So you roll what you roll, and I roll what I roll.
Okay.
So does that make sense? Just the advantages and disadvantages.
For sure.
They'll cancel out because of the situation. Yeah.
So we're rolling now?
Yeah.
Okay.
I didn't look to see how many dice
I appreciate that.
he rolled, but I can hear it, and it's quite a few.
I got 4 out of 3.
You got 4. I got 3. So you do hit.
Gang.
I also got 4 out of 3.
So damage is the sum of the. I didn't roll my power die. Shit.
Yeah.
My bad. Hold up.
That's important.
I got 2 out of 6 with nothing on my power die. It's gonna be one of these days, guys.
I got a 7 on the power die. That's a pass, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Right.
So it's 2d6.
2d6. Got it.
And then for my bow, it's just a normal 1d6 plus my.
Yes.
turn.
Just let me resolve them one at a time so
Okay.
that I don't get lost.
Okay.
All right. So BB lines up the shot, takes a breath, and then and deals 9 points of damage right into the eye.
Okay.
Does she say bang?
I think she I think she whispers it. I think it's really it's to herself. Just bang ASMR.
As you fire
No.
into that screen, there is
Sponsored
this
by Bang Energy.
immediate laser penetrative crack. You see this just solid like hole that spider webs out across an entire side. You know that you have immobilized the side closest to you. It's not completely destroyed. With 9 damage, you look like you have gotten very close and you have immobilized at least one side, but maybe 2 of its visual sensor. And as you watch, that eye tries to turn in that direction to look where you are, and as the eye passes over, there's nothing there, and it blips across to pass where the cracks are. So there is now a gap in what it can see
Fuck
with its eyes.
with us. My God.
Let's go.
So Jeremy, you were shooting the same thing, right? And
Got
you rolled
2
your
out
shot.
of 6.
2? Okay,
Don't
well I
look
have to
at
roll
me.
a second
Oh.
one of these. Okay.
Uh-oh.
What? That's only 1. I only rolled 1.
Shut up.
Amazingly.
Well, let's go then.
Oh,
10 points of fire.
damn.
So what Jeremy does, I think that he makes like a little, like a high-tech gizmos science fantasy gun. And what it does is that like it creates like a trail of fire to his gun barrel and then back out towards it.
Cool.
Also at the eyeball.
Very cool. And that, so you said 10?
I did say 10.
Ooh.
Magic number.
So, Jeremy, you have to position yourself a little bit because the part that's like the side facing you is already destroyed. So you have to get to an angle. The screen on its backside, like on the all the way side, you guys can't get into position to get there. You'd have to circle all the way around, right? But you destroy the last bit and you burn it to a crisp. You see glass just shatters and there's just circuitry, wires sparking in this strip around the 3 sides that you guys can see. And as far as you can tell, the only visual input that it has left is out the backside that's not facing you.
Yes. I mean,
Sexy.
let's go. Let us go.
So these were simultaneous actions. You've still got, yeah, so that you've still got one.
I rolled a 4. I rolled 4.
Okay.
Yes. At the drone panel.
At the drone, okay, so just
Yeah.
its body.
Yeah.
I love
I didn't
that.
know if that would be a called shot or not because
No, because that's just its body.
okay.
Yeah.
I love that this community of people was like, this is a really, really, really dangerous robot for you to fight. And then we just pull up and run train on it immediately.
I mean,
Uh,
it still is.
It is. No, we could still get
We could get
I'm
got good.
absolutely putting the horse before, or the cart before the horse with this one. If I were to put the horse before the cart, that would just be normal.
So I roll 3 defense.
So this is just a normal compound made by the scrapper's bow, correct?
Mhm.
So it's just my dexterity. Dexterity?
Yeah, it is are you proficient in bows?
No.
Okay. So it is just a flat D6
Yes.
because you don't have a D12 associated with it or anything yet. So it's going to be 1d6 plus. Yeah. Because there's
So-
nothing to determine a D6 or 2d6 if you're not trained in it. So it's a flat D6 plus your dexterity.
Oh, I thought you were saying it was without my dexterity.
No, it's still a D6 plus your dexterity damage. It's just there's no possibility of getting 2d6 because you're not trained in it.
That's 5 damage to the panel on, let's say, the left of the front.
Okay.
Yes.
So you take a shot at that panel, which really is just its body. And you see that the arrow dealing only 5 damage, right? You watch it just carve in, and the precision of your shot, you are able to like pierce that body, but that little amount of damage is like compared to its maximum health, it looks like it can take it.
Doesn't really do much. But that
Yeah.
wasn't the point of the shot anyways, so we're good.
You see the scratch, you see the little hole that it made, but the arrow does not stick. It just goes like and then kind of clatters away. And yeah, there's just this tiny little like in its surface. So you can do damage to it. Just the impression you get is that it's going to take quite a lot of damage to bring this thing down, attacking the body. Robin actually does not take a surprise attack. He lies in wait around a distance, like he starts skirting around, creating a flanking position, and he uses his whole turn to just kind of get ready. As that eye begins to spin, you guys are all still like 100 feet away, right?
120.
Yeah, 120 feet away.
So it supposedly can't feel us yet.
Yeah, it doesn't have its motion sensors yet, and it just has the eye situation. So you do see that at the beginning of this situation, the panels open up and the 2 drones do emerge. And it happens even before we go into initiative. That's kind of built into its abilities, that now that it knows something is happening, it launches right into it. And you see these, the best shape analogy I can make is it is shaped a bit like the Superman symbol, or that baseball home plate, that diamond shape. Yeah, wow, diamond. I went to Superman symbol before diamond. They are vaguely diamond shaped, and again, perfectly geometric, but they have these 3 red dot sensors on the front, and they're on their own individual repulsors. They move fast and quiet, and they have these 2 turrets that are sticking out from the bottom of them. The 2 drones separate out from that panel, and you do see there is that little bit of open space, an indent there, but inside it doesn't look that horribly vulnerable just for the time that it's open, and it looks like the panels will close up again eventually, but they are open for the moment, and the drones come sailing out. I will now ask for initiative.
Woo!
Let's do it.
Okay, so can I get everyone's initiative rolls?
That
Cool
8.
6.
Yep.
8,
Oh boy.
6,
3.
3.
Oof.
Yeah.
Ooh.
I've got it.
Oof.
Yeah, point and laugh, everybody. Point.
We're
and
doing
laugh.
well today. BB is barely ahead of Jeremy. I'm not pointing and laughing at anyone.
So the first person to go with an incredible dexterity and agility, if I'm being honest, is Robin. For all intents and purposes, a desert rogue.
He's our Yoda.
Desert rogue. Yeah. So don't get mad at me, Sting, for using your song. So Robin, he takes out his compound crossbow and he has knocked a bolt already. And you see that there's actually this sparking element. There is almost like there are 2 nodes over where the arrow has to pass through that have this little arc of electricity. So when it passes through, the electricity stays on the tip. Yeah.
That's
And
pretty tight.
he takes a scan of the 3 sides of the eye mechanism that have been destroyed, and he begins to skirt around. And you notice this guy's like, he moves so fast and quietly on the sand. So I'm gonna roll an agility check to see if he can get all the way there in his turn,
3.
because he does have quite a while to, like, he has a long distance to skirt around, staying in that vicinity.
3
Well-
sides is not enough. He wants it to be completely blind.
Hell yeah. Fun fact about Sting while you roll that, he was an English teacher until he was like 27.
Whoa, that's crazy.
Mhm.
Ian is a 27-year-old teacher. That's wild.
That's true. Basically, I'm Sting. Yeah.
Yeah. we've
Yeah.
decided.
We know this.
Okay.
It is known.
So 3 out of 4, not a full success, but a pretty good success, a little over a middling success. So it's going to take his whole turn just to get around to the other side, because he has, like, again, a quite a big distance to travel in a circle.
Okay, bye.
But he does get over there, and you see him level his shot, but he doesn't take it yet. Next in line, you see those 2 drones sail out over towards you.
Fuck, I'm getting triggered.
And what you notice is they don't begin to fire when they reach you, and they do reach you. These things are, they are so fast. They get to you, and they continue past you.
Oh, they're gonna destroy our ship. Oh shit. Oh
As
no.
you look over,
Oh fuck.
you see that there are sensors on the back as well. They can see front and back. The turrets swivel around to face you from a behind you position, and you hear this sonic pulse sound. It sounds very similar to a sound that you have heard BB make,
Oh.
a concussive blast sound. You don't see a traditional sort of laser mechanism from the turrets. You see a compressed wave of force go poof, emanate from them. They actually have to do it together.
Bro, don't make me fall on my own sword like this. What the fuck?
Are they gonna try to push us into the motion sensor range?
Oh
These
shit, that's
motherfuckers?
crazy.
What are we rolling against?
So this is how spread out are you guys?
I think pretty. I don't know. I didn't really decide that.
I don't think-
Jeremy was like right next to BB.
Yeah, that's all I know is that BB and
I
Jeremy
think-
were next.
I mean, like, you whispered the go signal to
Yeah.
BB, so.
I mean, I think I did have to maybe get a little bit of an angle to like hit the shot that I wanted to, because I did say it was to the left, so I might be a little more to the right of everyone else. But
That's what I was gonna say too, because you shot the remaining part and they
Yeah.
shot kind of the same part.
yeah.
So I would say that BB and Jeremy are together. So both of you guys have to make your dodge check, which is
Oh,
your
no.
agility check here.
The PDP's finest. We always just die together.
True.
So they've got,
If they
Can't wait
are
for
going,
this.
Agility?
and they get
I think so. If they are going towards the skiff, they have 1,300 feet to go. So they got a ways.
2 out of 3.
One
2
out
out of
of
3?
one.
What'd you get?
1 out of 1.
1 out of 1. Okay.
It's good for me, all right?
Yeah.
So I roll 5.
Mm.
That is a full success, and it's an 8 on the not a power die per se, but the ability die. And it took the crazy thing is the only reason they can do this together on their turn right now is because I literally rolled them separate initiatives and they both landed on the same initiative.
That's hilarious.
So they had a perfect opportunity to use this ability right out of the gate. But it takes up both of their turns to do it. If any of you could see Robin's face right now, it's this face of like, this isn't something I knew they could do.
How do reactions? Do we get reactions in this game?
You do.
Ben just reacted to something.
I have a thing
Depends
that
on
I can
what
do.
they
I
do.
can
Hashtag
use
Ben
my
reacts.
shield to. I can use my fire to shield as my reaction. Holy shit!
Ooh.
Okay.
I was gonna say if this is a reaction worthy action, have Silhouette just like, oh fuck, and grab BB's arm with their Hubba Bubba whip, so she doesn't go anywhere,
That would be bubblicious.
or at least try.
Mm-hmm.
But I'll let you finish rolling your things first. Yes.
Okay, so they each have their own damage for this. So you take 22 points of damage, both of you.
I
Uh-huh.
would like to use my reaction ability to reduce that damage. Okay, cool.
And
Oh fuck.
so given the amount of successes that they rolled collectively, you guys are pushed forward 40 feet. And some of that damage that I said is from
flying
flying that far forward. So
Okay.
you feel a concussive blast at your back, and Haramon, you see both Jeremy and BB just and they go flying forward through the air. And this isn't going to have extra damage, but I will say that both of you should roll an agility saving throw to see if you can land on your feet or roll to your feet, or if you're going to be face down in the sand at the beginning of your turn.
Is Silhouette's
4 out of 3.
reaction-
0 out of 1, but I reduced 9 damage from the thing, so
Cool.
that's good.
Is Silhouette's reaction not fast enough
What would you want her to do?
to try to use her Hubba Bubba situation to grab BB by the wrist, or grab BB in some way to?
That's
Yes,
a hefty
break my
reaction.
wrist.
That's a hefty reaction.
It'll be fine.
That's the kind of thing that would take a full success to do. So she can try
She
it.
can try. Can I see her? Do you have her sheet?
I don't,
But
but I have been running that on her. I think she has a
4?
That'd
dexterity
be
of,
okay, Ben.
I think her dexterity is 3 or 4.
Dude,
But I've
you're
been running
nearly
it as
about to
3.
die.
We're both about to die. It's okay.
No, I have 17 health. I'm good, but you're fucked.
Yeah, listen. We're going to make it through.
I rolled 3 4s out of 3.
That is a full success. Okay.
Crazier
So
things have happened, it seems.
Jeremy flies forward. BB failed the dexterity.
Maybe she flies.
No,
just a
I
little
mean,
bit.
this most recent one, this one that we just had us roll, I got 4 out of 3.
Oh, so I thought you said 1 out of 3.
No.
Okay, 4 out of 3. So because you succeeded on that very well and she got a full success, you do not go flying, but the force of being pushed that far and the whip situation, it kind of hurts. It's not going to do damage, but that is now where the damage you would have taken from falling does apply, because you are like, my arm.
Okay, so same amount. So it's still 20.
So yeah, you still get the damage.
Okay.
The damage is still there, yeah. But you are not pushed closer to its arm's range.
I got a 0 out of 1 for my dex, so I'm fucked.
Bye bye. So these,
Yeah, you're up there. So that was 40 feet.
40 feet, so 80
So-
feet away.
Mhm. Okay. That is the drone's entire turn, and they're gonna hang out there.
So they're not moving past us. Still, they're not continuing. They've stopped.
They stopped. Yeah, they're hovering where they are now.
Okay.
So now it goes to Silhouette and Haramond. It'll be Silhouette's turn first.
Okay.
She'll unwhip,
Yeah.
and then what would you guys like her to do?
Well, how much reach does the whip have? First of all, did we
I
ever
think-
decide that?
I think it's like 10 feet for right now.
10 feet, and they're how high up?
Who is how high up?
The drones.
Well, the drones they were hovering at about the height of being right behind and angled up. So they should be hovering in the 5-foot range,
Okay.
like 5 to 6 foot range.
How do you guys feel about Silhouette turning invisible, rushing these things, and trying to electrocute one of them?
I'm fine with that.
That's exactly what I was thinking.
Okay.
Mhm.
That sounds great.
Do I have to roll a stealth for that because I'm turning invisible?
She's already invisible,
You're correct.
so she can just attack.
Okay. So that's also dexterity? Does she have any D12s or anything in that?
Her D12s are in gadgets. This is
Gadget?
technically
A
a gadget,
gadget?
so you can put a D12 on it. Now that it's doing damage explicitly, yeah.
Yes. All right. So that's a 4 with a success on the power die.
3. Okay, that's only 3 for one of the drones.
Okay. So it's
She's going for one of the drones. Yeah.
one of them. Yep. We'll say the left one.
Okay, so she does hit one.
Okay. So that's 2d6 plus her dexterity,
Yes.
which is 3.
Mhm.
Oh my god. So
Oh, no.
that is a 14 damage.
Oh yeah.
I rolled a 5 and a 6.
Okay. So
And she's going zzz,
with 14
trying to
damage,
short circuit that shit.
that is in one turn more than its health that it has.
Mhm.
So she actually does destroy it, unless she's not trying to. If she's trying to just circuit it, then
Yes. She's
then
trying-
it just overloads
Yeah.
and clatters down into the dirt.
Yeah, the intention was to take it out and still be able to hack it.
Mhm.
Yay.
Yeah.
Yay.
I think that's pretty solid for Silhouette's turn.
Yes, I agree.
So one of the drones is gone, so it can't do its pushing move anymore.
Thank goodness.
And then Haramon it's a full action to heal, right? And it's a full action to shoot. And these go no, BB's after me.
BB is next after you, yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna take the gamble and let BB try to shoot this thing. And I can't get to Jeremy and BB in this turn, right?
No,
No.
both of them, no.
So because BB is closer, and I saw Jeremy do his reaction, I will go to BB and use my Healy power on her.
Wow, thank you.
So that's willpower and my D12 because I have a D12 in it, right?
Mhm.
And then I roll it like I'm doing an attack. Question mark?
Yeah,
So
essentially.
that's a failure on the power die, but that's what, 4 out of 3? So
Yeah,
it's a
so it
D6.
succeeds.
So it's a D6 plus 3. That's 7 points of healing to baby.
Nice.
My baby. Can I ready an action?
Depends on what it is.
Can I just knock an arrow?
Yeah, that's easy enough.
And just like I'll knock an arrow and I'll go to the edge of the motion sensor range, so I am closer to Jeremy,
Okay.
but not so far where I couldn't hit a shot if I tried to shoot the drone.
Right.
And
Yeah.
then that's my turn.
Cool. So now we go to BB, who you have been whipped to maybe not safety, but you're not in the motion sensor range.
BB cracks her wrist and tries to shake off the blunt force. Puts her hand on Hermon's shoulder and doesn't use them to push herself up, but like it's just like a thank you kind of thing.
Mhm.
Pushes herself up on her like knees or whatever, gets up, stands in front of Hermon, and then takes 2 shots at the Sentinel.
Okay.
Or the drone, rather.
The drone or the Sentinel?
The drone, excuse me.
The drone. Okay.
2 shots.
I get 2 shots on my turn, I'm pretty sure.
Yes.
Yes, you do.
I was just making a 2 shot.
Just one of them doesn't have damage bonuses.
For sure.
The second one, yeah.
Pete's gave me the wrong drink today, but it's still good. Still a good drink. Even
4
when
out of
it's
3
warm.
with success on the power die. That's good that it's still a good drink. Respect.
So I also roll 4. It goes to attacker, so you get it. You do it.
Sick. Okay. So 2d6. It's a hefty 5 damage.
Okay.
Including your whatever your ability.
Dexterity.
You use. Dexterity.
I rolled 2 1s.
Oh.
So you put a little hole in it, and you do damage it almost like halfway to your understanding. But it's still flying.
Gotcha. Okay. So I'll take my second shot.
We're soaring, flying. There's not a star in heaven that we can't reach. ColourPop just put out, I think it was ColourPop, just put out a High School Musical collection, and I want it.
3 out of 3, no success on the power die.
Okay. That's your second shot, right?
Yeah.
4. Okay, so I roll 4 on this one. So the second shot, it looks like you are right on target for where it is because it's not moving. But as you fire, it just repulses itself to the left and the shot sails right past it. Completely on target, if not for it moving so quickly.
For sure. How much did I get healed for, Hermon?
7.
7, thank you.
It is now the Sentinel's turn.
We're fine. It's fine.
I'm gonna have a heart attack.
No, we're good.
Jeremy, you are
What
in
about
motion
Jeremy?
sensor range.
I thought the Sentinel, not the drone. Sorry, my bad.
I have to ask you, Jeremy, are you carrying any metal on your body?
That's a bad question. Hate that question.
Let's see. Yes, because I think a phone would count, and I also have my pocket watch. So yes.
Okay. So there is a shimmer in the air that is palpable. It sort of dances on the edges of the heat shimmer in the desert. And Jeremy, you feel from those pieces of metal on your body an intense magnetic pull.
Ooh.
So I'm going to need you to make a strength saving throw. Because you are trying to fight against being pulled.
And how strong are these chains in my pockets? Fuck, bro.
And this is just within the 100-foot motion range.
Yeah. The rest of you guys don't feel this effect.
It's a 1 out of 1. Hey.
Hey.
It doesn't mean shit, because, that thing's probably going to yank me with like 6 out of 6 or something, but still, I'm happy.
That is a full success for you. And this is a mechanic to understand just for the audience as well, because there are situations where you couldn't possibly roll as many dice, right? There are times where you couldn't succeed versus something, but a full success still counts for something. So even though it succeeded with 2, which is better than your 1, it accomplishes its goal of pulling you closer. And you see these 4 arms, 2 of them with claws, just pushing themselves up as the sand falls away out of them, and these segmented with some sort of almost plastic-like tubing with these 3-pronged grabbing claws on the ends of them, and this horrible sound closer to you. almost where your feet are planted. Because with your success, you don't have to roll agility to try and keep yourself up. You stay on your feet, and you're being dragged all the way there, and then you stay on your feet when it's done pulling you, and you see at your feet, right in front of you, this horrible sound, the subterranean sound. Sand begins arcing
No.
in a circle close to where your feet are, and then the two blades push out, not directly into you, but in front of you, and loom over you like worms almost. And you're staring just up at them, ready for them to come down on you. But they don't. Not on this turn. That is the Sentinel's entire turn.
It's bad
And
time.
it is now your turn, Jeremy.
Okay. Yeah, so I'm gonna use my Firefly ability to get the fuck out of there.
Oh, I forgot you had that.
Yeah. How far does that get me? Because like I can use my will and willpower instead of agility, and I have 5 in that, so
Yeah, I think what's at the moment, because you're so early in your training for this ability, what makes sense to me is it is a combination, the first combination of trying to balance using your power with a physical endurance, because you do still have to have physical endurance. You have to propel yourself through the air and like survive that, basically, right? So what I think happens is you roll agility with your power die, because this is an agility move and a power move.
But when we first like talked about it, it was more like using my will. No, it's fine.
Well, that's what you're working toward, right? We had a single
okay.
training session over like a couple hours of doing it. We're talking
makes
about
sense.
developing an entire new ability.
What
you're in your
dice should
early
I
stages.
use? Should I use Dragon or Cthulhu dice?
Dragon feels right for
Yeah.
this. You're
Dragon.
This is your fault if I don't succeed.
Mhm.
I'm passing blame onto you.
It's fair.
Fuck. That's a 1 out of 2 with a 1 on the power dice.
Okay. So 1 out of 2, you can go, let's say, about as far as like you would normally run.
Is that enough to get me out
I'll
of the...
get you about 20 feet away. Maybe 25 feet away.
I got yanked how far towards the Sentinel?
Very close. You are...
She was 80 feet
Yeah.
away.
You're about 10 feet away from the face of it, with these buzzsaw arms in front of you. So you need to get 20 feet away to get out of its range. So getting 25 feet away would get you out of the arm's range. The problem is you're in it already, and opportunity attacks do exist in this game. These buzzsaw arms are right on you. So that is a risk you take in doing this.
Well, shit.
It will try to grab at you as you are turning away.
Well, I can't stay in there, so...
Mhm.
Oh, so stressful. Yeah. Fuck it. It
can go
can't
for it.
get me.
Okay.
I'm the best. PvP's
shit.
finest. I mean, shit, dude.
True shit.
So it is going to try and make an opportunity attack with the saw arm closest to you.
Oh, Ben. I don't like that face.
Well, just don't forget I still have my fire shield.
True.
And then that'll get me through this turn, and next turn I'll be fucked.
Because its drones are released, it is slightly Well, yeah. There are mechanics at play.
Oh no.
This bitch lighter, it can move faster.
Unless it's a good thing. Unless it's like the drones are really so it's focusing on more than it usually is focused on. So it's like bandwidth.
Even with rerolls, I rolled no successes. Out of a few die,
Let's
it
go.
swipes
best.
at you
King shit.
with its saw blade, and you just on like this pure combination of instinct and skill, you fly off, pushing this ball of fire out from behind you and hop forward, leaving a trail of smoke as you sail 20 feet forward. It follows you on your heels and then just digs into the sand a good like 10 feet short as you crest right out of it and look back and you see that thing pushing up sand in a cloud like very close to you, but you got out. Woo!
Can I try and attack it?
Yeah, it's your turn now.
Okay.
Because it should have another thing to try and do. It does get multiple attacks in one turn, but now no one is in its range. So
Ooh, cool.
it's also not its turn, so
Yeah,
it's your
I'm
turn.
gonna try and chop its arm off. Give me that arm, boy.
With fire. Crazy.
Yes, because I am. Oh, daddy, I'm fucking cracked.
Oh, daddy.
What the fuck?
That's 10 out of 6 with a success on the power dice.
Let's go.
I told you, I'm fucking
Let's
insane.
go.
So 10. 1, 2. Yeah,
Dodge that,
that's
you
3. So yeah,
Glass cannon.
you do hit it.
Glass cannon.
You're going for the buzzsaw arm closest to you, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Let's see, damage. Come on, big money, no whammies. Oh!
What was that whimper?
I'm just so excited.
Hell
That's
yeah.
16 points of damage.
Woof.
And I'm gonna say that Jeremy, he like spins around and pivots, and he'll just summon this massive flaming greatsword and just bring it down on the saw arm back. How you like me now, bitch?
Yep.
So
That's daddy.
this is an insane creature to keep track of because it has hit points for different parts of its
Yeah.
body. If you remove all the arms, it'll still be alive. You know, the arms have individual hit points themselves. And so this is saw arm number 1, right? Out of
2.
yeah. And then there's claw and
1 and
claw.
2.
Yeah.
And then there's body, and then there's drones, and there's so much going on.
So, you do 16. You see, you carve through most of the tubing to the point where you just see an encased tube of wiring underneath. And it is still enough to move around efficiently. You got most of the way there, but it is not so.
Can I use a free action to ditch my metal?
Ooh. Interesting. Let's have you do a dexterity check to see how quickly you can do it in this short amount of seconds. That is your turn.
Dragon. Ah, nope. 0 out of 1.
Damn.
Nope, 0 out of 1. You are not able to remove anything in time.
That's fair. I'll yell back to the rest of the group and say, ditch your metal! It'll pull you in!
Okay.
So Robin, who is staying on the outside, it is now back up to his turn. He's going to try to take his shot
Go, Robin.
at the final eye
Go,
situation.
Robin. It's your birthday.
He's DMing the Sentinel as we speak.
Oh shit! He rolls a 12 on his power die.
Ooh.
Good for him.
So that doubles.
He
the
deserves it.
dice?
The damage die. Yeah. So
Kill it.
Yeah.
Destroy
Okay.
it.
So on its
This absolute motherfucker.
it still has to hit, but we'll see if it does. Okay, so that's 3, and that's yeah, he does.
Yay!
Okay, so that's going to be 2d6 plus 4. That's pretty good. So that's 14 points of damage that he deals.
2d6?
Oh, you're so right. It's a crit.
It's a crit, baby.
It's more than that.
It's more than that.
Oh, okay, not that much more. It's 11 plus 4, so 15.
That's better than 11, though. Yep.
Indeed.
That's math. 15 is higher than
speaking
11.
And that's
math.
on God.
That's on God. That's on period. On fleek?
True. Maybe not. Math is
Okay.
maybe never on fleek.
Blech.
Or it's
So-
the most on fleek.
Yeah.
You see smoke rising up from the back of its head where you can't see, and you feel very confident that it no longer has visual sensors. And you hear this like
Love.
pointy motherfucker.
All right, let's pack it up and go home and come back tomorrow. Finish it off.
Love fighting.
Please don't
with
leave me.
maniacs.
It is now the remaining drone's turn.
Oh, shit.
It is going to
I'll note that BB is still standing in front of Harriman, in front of the drone.
Well,
it
Harriman
can't
is
do its
like
pushing move.
20 feet away from you at this point.
Oh, okay, for sure. I didn't realize he'd moved away.
Yes.
Bet.
It can't do a super effective pushing move. So it's just going to try and shoot.
Yep.
For its neutral special, it wields a gun.
So we'll see who it wants to shoot.
Oh.
So I'll do 1, 2, 3, and silhouette will be 4.
Is Silhouette invisible though?
Does it know where Silhouette is?
You don't know.
It did attack. She did attack it with its friend.
That's fair.
It's a 5. That's not helpful. 4 would be silhouette. Which honestly might be the best outcome
Attack at disadvantage?
because it's
Yeah.
So
What one of these? Oh.
I cannot not throw dice onto the floor apparently.
Well, it's a good thing you have a bajillion million. of
I know.
them.
That is
Bet.
true. That's just garbage. Just like almost absolutely nothing. That's
Good.
2. So silhouette with her agility.
Well, hopefully, please, God. No,
With
it
disadvantage.
hits her.
No, Silhouette!
It does still hit her.
Yeah, I
So-
rolled a 2.
It does pinpoint where silhouette was based on the attack, and it does manage to shoot her only with 1d6 plus 4. That is a 6. So silhouette takes 10 points of damage.
I don't know how much she has. We have to find her sheet.
We really
honestly.
do. Yeah. It's mostly in my brain, but that does hurt her a lot.
Yeah.
And I think you guys clearly you see the impact, and it makes her invisible form flicker for a moment,
Mm.
and you hear her impact with the sand.
Ow. Ow.
So that brings us down to Silhouette's turn. She is injured, but
Mhm.
she's okay. She's still invisible, though that might not count for much now. Because it clearly knows where she is. She is
Can always move.
not technically prone. I think just it's kind of a flavor text thing because she is an NPC at the moment. It was an impact, but she can get up without movement penalty.
Mhm.
But what would you guys like her to try and do?
I mean, it worked so well the first time.
I agree. I think she should just go for the other one.
But we should have her like move. And she can roll a stealth roll if you want for that. Just to try to get that boom, boom, boom back.
Agreed.
That's true. So give her a D12 on the stealth just to get out of there.
And
Yeah.
she has a 4 agility, right? I feel yes, because her agility is more than Harriman's.
Yeah, that her agility is her best thing. So that and intelligence are her like main things.
So that was a 3. No success on the power die.
Okay. Since it knew where she was before, it will be an active check instead of just a passive.
Yeah.
But these things are not that smart. It does have motion detectors.
They're
but,
just drones.
so that's 1 success. So
Fuck with your boy. Okay.
Yep.
So dexterity for the whipping. Oh,
The whipping.
12 because it's a gadget. Uh-oh. Oh, can I count that?
No.
So that is 3. No success on the power die.
Okay.
It was almost a success. It was a 6, but that's not.
that is 2. So yep.
Rolled 6. So that's 9 points of DiMaggio.
Okay.
John DiMaggio.
John DiMaggio.
So as the whip cracks through the air, you see the electricity, which is not invisible, spark around this thing. And it also just like makes this slight squealing, mechanical squealing sound. And then the lights just fade and it drops down into the sea.
Die like a pig.
So the drones are out.
Can I? The first one was damaged. No, actually, I lied. Can as like Silhouette's like secondary action, like just pick up the one she just shot to prepare to hack into it next turn.
I will say because she stealthed, specifically tried to stealth, that took a little bit more than just moving away.
I see.
So I'll say not on this turn.
Okay, but she's right there.
Yeah. So now Harriman.
So now Harriman is going to try to shoot, like finish off that saw blade that is on its last legs. Try to like sever some vital wire connections, I guess.
Okay. The closer saw blade. Okay.
Oh. Nope, that's a fat 0.
Versus 2. Yep. So you were going for a shot?
Yes.
Yeah. And it sails past. The arm is so noodly, and it is able to just sort of, watching those segments of it move, it has this very fluid grace about it. And it just sort of octopuses its way around.
So now I have to make a choice. Do I enter the field where I have so much metal on me in order to help Jeremy, who does very much need help? Or should I stay on the edge? I would be more effective because I have the healing, and then also I could use my chain spear instead of the thing I'm not actually proficient in.
I mean, like, they can't hit me anyways, so like.
Fucking A. No. What did I say when we were talking to the Blakes? I'm protector first. Whatever. Harriman's gonna go in towards Jeremy. And as they're running in, switch out the bow to take out the chain spear. And start revving that shit. Getting it all warmed up.
Okay. So that brings us down to BB's turn.
Yay. So the visual sensors are all taken out. The drones are taken out. I guess I'll just shoot at the body of the Sentinel, like where it seems like most of its power is being derived from, to try to shut everything down.
Fair enough.
Are the drone panels still open?
They have closed.
They have closed.
Okay. So I think she'll just then take 2 of her energy shots at the chest. Fuck around and find out. 7 out of 3 with a success on the power die.
1, 2. Okay, so that's only 3 defense, so you can shoot.
See ya. So 2d6?
Yeah, with a success on the power die.
Got it. That's gonna be 9 damage again.
Ooh. Real nice.
So she goes bang, and then she lines up real quick for a second shot.
Okay.
Oh, sorry. This should be out of 4 because I was not really counting the power die, but it probably would have amounted to the same thing. Anyway, on this one, it is it is 4 out of 4, but I did not succeed on the power die.
Okay. So the first shot, you go in, you kind of take your moment and you fire, and you see, unlike the bolts that have cracked its surface, you actually see that you melt in a hole directly in it, the exact size of your shot. And you see that moment of it just sort of not reacting, as it seems to not react to anything, which makes it all the more horrifying, in my opinion. It just does not seem to flinch. And yet, this is the first that its hide may have ever been penetrated genuinely. The second shot, you go to do the same, and it just glances off. You see that it should hit, but something about that second sort of faster, less powerful shot, you realize that like putting everything in is really what it took. You bore into its hide that first time. And it puts into perspective just how hard this carapace must be.
Damn.
But also how strong that you're capable of being.
Okay. Mechanically, did it just roll higher than me? Or was it because I didn't succeed on the power die? Okay, got it.
For the second one, it rolled a lot.
Got it.
I will just say this about that. It doesn't move to dodge things. So when you're shooting it, you're not rolling against its agility. You're rolling against something else. Yeah. You are genuinely, literally trying to bore through a thick hide.
Got it. So I think BB will actually kind of move back, not super far, but probably like 10 feet, 15 feet.
Okay.
And that's the end of her turn. She looks around at the group.
That brings us back to the Sentinel. There's a moment where the arms, which are currently waving, looking for a target and finding none, there's a moment where they stop. And there's a heartbeat of silence before the ground rumbles.
What?
You see the sand beginning to pour away from the pyramid's form. As it rises up, you see the flat bottom underneath as these huge spider-like legs ending in pincers. Well, not pincers, but ending in a point.
No.
Emerge from under the sand. And possibly for the first time since this war, it moves. And the arms come up with it, sand falling away from them as they rise up into the air. Now, it is huge and slow. It can only move 10 feet in one turn. But that clears the distance between it and its blade range toward Jeremy, who is still sitting on the edge of it. And as it crawls forward, that blade dances forward with a horrifying sound that seems to be carving through the air itself, through the thickness of the heat here, and sails toward Jeremy. So go ahead and roll your dodge.
Nothing. None.
No.
Zero?
Nada. 0.
Oh, Jeremy.
It's fine.
Okay, that's a 5.
It's something I can react to. Try and
What
hurt
exactly
me,
would you do?
you ho.
Well, because it's the one that's like on its last legs, right? It's the one that's pretty much just wires. So I think Haramon's gonna seeing this happen, Haramon is going to take a gamble and think, well, it doesn't have its full strength in terms of its arm, because it still has to reach a little bit to hit Jeremy. And Haramon's gonna try to throw their hunting knife just enough to knock it so it doesn't hit him, at least not
Yo.
if that's like a viable like action.
My thinking for this is opportunity attacks are something everyone has access to if something moves out of your range.
Yes.
Taking an entire reaction to do an attack is an ability in and of itself that I
Okay.
think you would have to have on your sheet or work toward putting on your sheet. I would consider letting it happen as kind of a Hail Mary if you rolled like an outstanding success, if it hadn't been a 5-point margin of difference
Right.
against a literal no success. I think Haramon would think it in the moment
Would be too slow to do it.
and would know that it would just be a waste of your weapon. You would see it play out in your mind and know there is no way you would stop this from happening with a knife right now.
Yeah. I
It
think
is sailing
Haramon,
toward him with great force.
like flinches for it, but by the time their hand reaches it, they've gone through that split second of thought and it's already hitting you.
Jeremy, the saw blade is going to deal 11 points of damage to you. But I have a question for Ben in this moment. Because there's something that we have discussed. What I want to put to you now is this the moment for this to happen?
Hello?
I'll say yes. He will use his reaction, but he's gonna gamble on it, and instead of using it to shield himself, he'll use it to try and damage this arm and deal the last bits. But yeah, this happens to him.
So it's your
And-
shield power
Uh,
that deals reactionary damage.
yeah.
And how much reactionary damage does it get?
Well, on this one, only a D6.
Okay.
So 6 points of damage.
6 points of damage will destroy it. So there's something very unique that's about to happen here. You all see this moment through the thickness of the heat. All of you playing out in your minds almost as though there's a time differential. The amount of time that you can strategize, imagine, hope for things that you could do to prevent this from happening. Play out in your minds longer than the actual moment it takes. But the moment around you progresses faster than any of those avenues of possibility. This saw blade sails toward Jeremy. He reaches out with his left hand. You see fire wreath around it, reaching out almost like a hand with claws, almost like a dragon's hand, grabbing as though to strangle it in its exposed tubing of this damaged arm. And you see in the same moment, a moment of perfect, gruesome harmony. As the saw blade is severed, after its work, simultaneous with its work being done, carving through flesh and bone of Jeremy's arm. severing it just a little bit forward past the elbow.
Oh,
The burst of fire that severed in return, the arm that took. The force of it, the heat of it, melts into the desert, instantly cauterizing a practically bloodless wound. But you can smell it. The larger sound of metal clattering against dirt drowns out flesh. But you do see him there, reaching out. Do you have anything to add to this moment? How does Jeremy react in the moment?
He just kind of stands there, just slack-jawed, I think. I don't think that anything is registered in him yet.
Ordinarily, it would get a second attack. But having lost one of its arms, one of its functions here, it sort of takes a moment.
How dare? How
And
dare?
that is going to be the end of its turn and the beginning of yours.
Oh shit.
Okay. Jeremy is going to I think he's just gonna lob a thing of fire at it, at the main body. Just because that's what he was thinking of doing, and nothing is really caught up with what just happened yet. So
Brain not processing.
no thoughts, head empty. So that is how many dice did I roll? I rolled 6. So that's 3 out of 6 with a crit on the power dice.
Ooh.
let's go.
3 to hit the just the carapace.
Yeah.
4, 5. So I roll 5. I think still somewhat dazed and pushing through in this moment, a massive just surge of fire erupts from your other hand, presumably. From your dominant hand.
Yep.
And it just spreads across. Almost like water against a window.
Then I think he's going to use his firefly ability and fly towards Haramone. But like as he does so, usually he uses both arms to like balance himself out. But since he doesn't have his left one, he just kind of spins out and then crashes in front of Haramone, and he'll just kind of on his knees holding his arm, he'll just kind of look up, just say, Haramone, and that'll be his turn.
Can we see a glimpse of Haramone's reaction to that?
Okay. This is not the first time Haramone has seen a teammate get injured in front of them.
Mm-hmm.
However, this is rough. And Haramone, even though it is the future, Haramone knows that without technology, there is a high chance that this limb won't be able to be reattached.
Yeah.
And fixed. And I think Haramone just that familiar cold wave or hot, depending on how you want to look at it, of like just pure oh fuck energy washes over them, and they know they can't do anything really to heal this, and that's all we get for the split second.
Okay. Back up to the top with Robin. He sees all of this playing out. and he runs forward into the radius, into reach of the arms. And he shouts, "Over here, Tin Can!" And he fires a bolt at the next closest saw blade to Jeremy. And it flinches in reaction, kind of pivots toward him. That's only 2. Let's see how he does against the arms. Okay, he does hit the next closest saw arm. Only 1d6 plus 4, 5 plus 4 is 10. So you actually do see a clean chunk of that outer tubing is removed as this arrow just slices through it. And that is his turn. The drones are gone, so fuck them.
Bye-bye.
Which brings us back to Silhouette.
Silhouette's gonna try to hack that shit. Hack that shit to pieces. See what she can get.
The drone?
Yeah.
Okay.
She's smart.
So I believe she should have a d12 on this.
I believe so.
And this
as
is
well.
intelligence, which I think she has at least 4. So give her
She has
4.
at least 4.
Yeah.
She might
4
have
with a power
5.
die. She might,
She
but I
has
remember it
4.
being more spread out.
Okay.
Yeah,
That's four.
I remember it
Because
being
she
4.
is beefier than you think she is.
4 agility, 4 intelligence.
Yeah.
That feels right.
Yeah.
One day we'll write these numbers down.
We will.
Yeah. We're doing,
That's not good.
we'll
Of fortune.
we're doing a pretty good job of remembering what the numbers are though.
Yeah, I'm sure that the stats are correct.
Okay, so that is 2, 4, 5. That's a full success with a success on the power die.
Okay. So
Yeah, 5
full
out of 5.
success, she is able to completely hack in one turn and give a simple command already to be
Oh.
executed on the next turn.
To be executed on.
Yeah,
the
because
next
there is a
turn?
stacking success with full successes. So on a full success, she did it and then some, a little bit more.
Okay.
So giving it something to execute on its next turn. And
Shoot
that'll be
the
back in
robot.
its spot in the initiative.
I'm going to.
Shoot to robot.
What if we had one of the grabby arms grab the other grabby arm? Or like one of the grabby arms grab the saw blade arm?
Oh, I thought you were hacking the drone.
No, we were trying to hack the drone to see if we could, via the drone, hack into the big boy.
We were
That's
just
going
trying
to
to
take
get.
a bit more than a full success.
I thought we were just trying to get the drone to just have a gun turret on her side.
Agreed. I thought
Well,
that
we
was-
could do that too.
Yeah, let's just get it to start
Yeah.
shooting at the big boy.
I would count this as the first step then.
Okay.
Then in that, if that's the plan, then she got into this and she'll have to spend another turn. It'll take rounds of successes for her to get through that chain.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
But if you
then-
want the drone to do something, you can just have the drone now.
So we could, okay, so we'll have the drone shoot the next available arm because I don't know if Harriman will take out the saw blade arm on their turn, but it be just the next arm available?
Yeah.
Okay.
You just pick one.
Just, yeah, pick the next one, the next arm.
Okay. I mean, you could go for the other saw blade because it's the most damaged.
But Harriman's turn will be before the drone.
Right.
So if Harriman destroys the
Got it.
saw blade on this turn, then that command is then moot. So to
Understood.
make it command the next available arm
Yes.
is yes.
Okay.
Thinking with portals.
So that command is stacked and ready for the drone's turn,
Yes.
bringing it down to Hermon.
Okay. 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 I feel like we recently changed what specialties mean. I don't get rerolls. Do I?
It was opened
failures?
up for discussion, and we ultimately landed on the point that we'll keep doing it the way we were doing it. So
Okay,
it
so
can
we-
still be successes.
Okay.
Yeah, but if it's not a combat thing, is it a combat thing?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, then maybe split it.
Dear God,
And this is against the saw arm.
yes. Okay. Trying to take that out first. Motherfucker. That's 2.
Okay, well, this is not against the carapace. This is a separate lighter material as in the diagram. So it doesn't have the big beefy constitution rolls that the carapace does. This one is rolling against its agility. And as such, I only rolled 1 success. So you do hit it.
And I rolled a success on the power die. So that is fucking A. That is 8.
8. Oh,
It's still pretty good.
The wires are fully exposed, but it's still functional.
What the fuck?
Is this the saw that's hit Jeremy?
No, Jeremy took it out at the same time.
This is the
so-
Okay.
other one that
Got it.
Robin just shot.
Yeah.
I can go for it on my next turn.
Oh, that's the custodian knife. Damn it. Okay, never mind. Yeah, that's
And you threw something for that, right? Or shot?
no. I got up.
You got up on it.
All up in. Wait, how does the saw part of the saw blade work?
You, if you succeed by a certain margin, which you succeeded by 1 margin,
Okay.
you can use, if you have a sort of secondary action available, which you do, you can push through and deal an automatic d6 with no bonuses.
Can I do that?
Yeah, you have this weapon, so you can fully do that.
Let's go.
That's an extra 4.
So at first you think, right? I think Harriman really does go through it, right? Of like, oh, it's not gone. Wait a second.
Yeah.
And then you just
No.
saw through the saw arm, and you feel it like butter just clean through. And there's this little spark of electricity that now finds nowhere but warm air to spark into, and it sparks across the spinning blade very satisfyingly, just like stars, and then it clatters into the dirt.
I love this thing. This
No more
thing's
saw arms.
awesome.
That was sick. That was sick as hell.
And now to beat it.
I would like to know also, I think if Jeremy was like looking at Haramon's face, I think he would have seen the look of Haramon being like, there's nothing I can do before they run off and take out the saw blade arm.
Seeing the 2 saw blades taken out, seeing Jeremy like grievously injured. I think BB is just like we need to finish this as fast as possible and just keep going for the torso. I'm not necessarily going for a called shot, but I think she's trying to aim for where her thing hit first. So if it just by chance it manages to slip into that same hole, it'll do extra damage or whatever. But like, yeah, get more into the guts of the thing. Anyways.
The guts.
So into the carapace.
Three out of 3 success on the power die. No, sorry. That's 4 out of 4 success on the power die. I'm counting wrong.
1, 2, 3, 4. So you do hit.
8. All right, so these 2d6. I'm in your. $10 points of damage.
Ooh.
The power of friendship, BB just unloads into this big metal boy.
So what you realize now is as you're boring into this thing, there is a stacking element of weakness. The structural integrity, the perfect geometry of this thing feeds into why it's so difficult to destroy. It's sort of distributing the force of every hit that it takes across its entire body. Now that you've disrupted that system, there are weak points spiraling out, and it begins to crack, and whole pieces of slate black metal are beginning to chip and fall away, and you see the intricate circuit board work underneath that is unfathomably complex.
Damn, love to see it. Second shot. BB is, of course, now aiming for the circuitry boards and everything that you can see inside.
You're realizing that it's more hurt than you thought it was.
Good. We love to see it.
Go, baby, go.
It wasn't as nasty as I thought it was. It's pretty nasty though. It's 4 out of 4 again, but a failure on the power die.
Oh.
Wait, but I get a 1 reroll. But I don't think it's actually on the power die.
Is it?
Would you allow me
It
to
can
do
be on the power
my
die. The power die gets priority when rerolling.
Oh, dope. Okay. Hold up. Let me mute myself really quick.
Because you have the most to gain from a success on the power die.
Yeah, it's still a failure. It's still
Okay.
2 2s.
So I'm noticing a pattern is holding here. When you're funneling all of this energy into this first shot to really bore
Yeah.
in. I really love that image where you get to the second faster shot and it just doesn't go through. Like
For
it's
sure.
almost like it's adapting to you, but really it just takes that much full force. As
Gotcha.
I rolled 6 successes.
sure.
So
Damn.
the second shot, is distributed across its body. And it just
Got it,
shimmers
okay.
off of that black surface.
That is it then.
Bringing us back to the Sentinel's turn. Haramone, you're now in range of it, are you not?
Yes, I am.
It is going to attempt to grab at you with its claw arm.
Fuck
One of
out
it.
of here. Yeah.
Okay, that was not as good of a roll as it could have been,
Okay.
but it's still a 3.
Fucking A. I also got a 3.
Okay, so you feel that you are able, you like maneuver yourself away from what you think is the danger zone, but it snakes through the air, almost like large snakes that you've encountered in your life. There is
Mhm.
something predatory about this thing. As the claws open up, they wrap around you, and with its grappling skill, pick you up as well as deal damage.
Sick. Sick. Awesome.
You are lifted about 10 feet in the air.
You can just stab right into it now though.
True.
And then fall to your
So
death.
firstly, let me give you the damage on that.
10 feet's not that bad.
So that's 13 points of damage from the bladed ends of these claws digging into you as it squeezes.
Mm-hmm. 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 Yep.
Yeah. I said 13, right? Yeah,
13.
13. I want to make it clear. Teen, not T. Yeah. And then instead of using its second arm to attack, you see that it swivels you in its grip and it rears back
No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't.
in the direction of Jeremy
no.
as you are thrown.
That's so
No.
fucked.
This happened the first time too with Big Robot with BB. What the
Oh, it
fuck?
did.
I forgot about that. Damn.
Okay. Okay, that's way better though. That's way better.
Good. Okay.
That's way
The
better.
good rolls are here. So that's a 7.
You motherfucker. I got a 5.
Okay.
I gotta
Um,
say in this.
Yeah. So the thing is, you rolling should have just been a save. You're already grappled. You're going to get thrown.
Yeah.
It's a matter of being able to either save yourself
I was.
or try and mitigate the damage against Jeremy. You have the option of one of those two things.
I think Haramone would try to save themselves because if they go down, no more healing for anybody.
Okay.
If they hit Jeremy and Jeremy goes down, Haramone can at least, and get him back up.
Okay.
So
So go ahead and roll me 1d6.
3.
Okay, we're gonna knock 3 points off of the damage to you
Okay.
that is about to happen. But Jeremy, you are the one who needs to make a dodge check because the attack is against you.
Watch this. 1 dice.
Hey.
Oh, 1 out of 1.
Yeah. So you are gonna get hit with a Haramone. That was an
Ow.
11 on
Flame
the power
shield.
die, so it's 2d6
Ow.
plus 5.
Oh, that's not that bad.
So okay, you take 11 points of Haramone damage as the bulky form of Haramone just slams into you with great force. Haramon,
So
you position
sorry.
your body so that you can actually, you collide with Jeremy, but I think maybe you roll almost over his shoulder
Mhm.
and land roughly on your feet at a crouch.
I slide.
Wait,
Insane.
They're
I
so
got-
hot.
I got my fire shield, and
You're gonna do this to me right now? Okay.
it takes damage away from me. You'll be fine. But I got a 9 on it, so I only take 2 points of damage.
And this doesn't automatically hurt Haramon?
No, it just stops damage from hitting me. It doesn't hurt them because I can either have damage reflect onto the attacker or stop damage from hitting me.
Okay.
Very
So,
good use of ability.
Yeah, we'll just say that Haramon just kind of pinballs off of him.
A bing!
Okay.
Is the 11 damage also what I take?
Yeah, but take the 3 off.
So
of it.
8.
Yeah. And that's on top of from the grab in the first place.
I know.
Yeah.
I'm aware. Okay.
And that is the Sentinel's full turn. So Jeremy, it's to you.
Oh, on a scale of 1 to 30, I'm feeling about a 4. And he'll
Oh, no.
reach up and where BB's hole is that she's been making.
BB's
just-
hole.
BB's hole.
Yeesh.
He'll concentrate. We'll flavor text like he's gonna attack the main body, but that's where he's gonna hit it the most.
BB's flaming hole.
BB's flaming hole.
Okay. So it is a pretty large chunk, but it's still a called shot. So take 1 die of disadvantage for the called shot.
And what does that mean? Just re-roll a success and
Yeah.
see if it's all right.
Yeah, reroll 1 success.
Fuck. That is a 3 out of 6 with a success on the power die.
Okay. So that is also a 3. So you do hit.
Oh,
Let's go,
Well.
gamers.
So
Go
you hit
gamers.
in the circuitry.
fuck yeah.
I'm going to
Oh.
say roll 1 extra d6 of damage
Yes.
for,
Gosh.
for successfully hitting that weak spot.
He's so angry.
God loves Jeremy.
As Griffin McElroy once said, 7-year-olds hate God.
I want to say that like it starts out as this little like jet of flame out of the hole that expands, and this giant dragon just reaches out and carves it open because he got 18 points of damage off that.
Are you Ben, I need you to know something right now. 18 is exactly how many hit points it had left.
Shut up.
Yes.
Let's say that it
I will show you the note. It has 18 points of damage left. So
We love it when the
I
dice
have
tell the
a-
story.
permission to add to the effect that you described. And
Go
you
for
can
it.
accept or reject this description at your pleasure. But I think Jeremy reaches out and you see this gout of flame just erupt and then grow larger and larger until it becomes this soaring, roaring dragon that tears open. But as it tears open, it starts to disassemble itself once again and spread into a fire that actually penetrates in under the carapace. You see a smoking, melting ruin. You smell just silicon and electricity. Smoke begins to pour up, but there are no cracks present. As the fire spreads under this thing's skin, at first you think there's nothing, but then that black metal just melts. Almost like black tar. And there is a line where the sensor starts underneath where the damage was taken. So there's this perfect cone of slate black up top, and the rest is melting away. And as it goes, it brings those sparks with it, and smoke, bitter, acrid smoke, is pouring up on all sides from this thing. It's hard to gauge how such a thing can even die other than just the raw smell of it. There are no sensor lights. There's nothing to judge this by other than the fact that it is now stripped of any trace of the obelisk that was there before and is now simply a raw smoking ruin.
Hell yeah.
As the remaining two arms still sailing out, reaching back toward Haramon and Bibi again, just clatter unceremoniously to the sand. The legs that were holding this creature, not creature, but holding this robot up, collapse under the weight of it. And the force of it hitting the sand creates a wave of sand that just gets all in everyone's eyes. It just erupts out from this center point. I am going to ask everyone to make a willpower saving throw.
Okay.
As there is this
Okay.
sonic screech of death that echoes through this blinding sand wave.
Ooh.
1 out of 1.
Okay.
That's a big fat 0 for me.
0.
Big fat goose egg, gang.
3 out of 5 for Jeremy.
3 out of 5. Okay. That's all. Yeah, I don't need the NPCs. I'm good with just you guys. So I know. 1 out of 1. Haramon gets 0. Jeremy gets 3 out of 5. So all of you have this moment of just, I can't see shit. I don't know what's happening. I saw it die. Where are my friends? And it's just for a moment. But Bibi, as this cloud surrounds you, passes over you, you cover your eyes, but something stops you from covering all the way. You see something that you don't want to miss.
Hello?
You see, standing in this swirling cloud, maybe 15 feet in front of you, is that black shadow again.
No way.
Only the barest hint of the face, not Kate's face, the other face that you didn't recognize, that slender, more masculine face. There's something desperate about it, but it can barely hold its shape. And its arm is reached out to you, and all you hear it say, calling out through the robotic screech beyond, like through the sound wave that is emanating from this sand cloud. You just hear that voice with a little bit more voice, more personality than you've ever heard it before. Actually sounds like a human voice. Bailey, look, and then it cuts off, and you blink, the sand gets in your eyes, and when the cloud clears, it's gone.
I think she was already starting to run towards it, and then she runs through a cloud of sand. It gets in her eyes. She looks up and it's gone.
Yeah, it's a very Kingdom Hearts moment. You like reaching for it,
Yeah.
and you go through the cloud. It passes over and is done, and the shadow is gone.
I've been having these
and
weird thoughts lately. Like, is any of this for real or not? You know?
your friends don't seem to have. Like, nobody else looks like they saw it.
Look at what? Look at what?
The
What thing?
shadow. The shadow was there, just for a second, and it said my real name, and then it was gone.
What? Oh, okay. Looking at Jeremy. Looks around. Arm nowhere to be seen anymore. Probably buried under the sand.
You could try to find it if you wanted to.
I guess.
Silhouette is already kneeling down in front of you, and Robin comes running, and he puts his arm out to it, but is like questioning. And this very hard face, there is an attempt at softness there. But it's genuine. And he goes, "You all right there, boy?"
Can't kill Jeremy. Can't put me down. Find a vehicle. find the kids, get out of here. And he'll kind of start stumbling and just kind of trying to find something that is operational, but just kind of stumbling and falling.
Phoebe runs the support and catch you and help you stand up.
I did roll a full success to try to find the arm.
You do find it. It's there. It's a little more gross because it's not cauterized. His is cauterized, but it's not.
Oh, well. Harmon will Harmon will take a piece of leather that they have in their first aid kit, bite down on it as they clear the sand from the wet part of the wound. And I'll walk over to Jeremy and say, I don't know if this is going to work. I'm mostly expecting it not to. And we'll stick it on the cauterized side of the nub and send one. Send one.
Resident Evil 8, is it?
Yep. I mean, it will at least heal Jeremy in general. So that was 1 out of 4 with a failure on the power die.
Jeremy, you feel the wound is disinfected. And you are healed for the amount that you are healed in general. But Harmon, you know this is beyond the scope of this very young power.
That's 9 to you.
I'm back up to 13.
We can try to keep it, but we don't have a way to keep it cold, and it probably will die by the time we get to some place that can actually do something about it.
So you see that Jeremy, he's just in a faraway place right now. Like, he's not hearing what you're saying at all. And he'll just kind of reach out and grab the arm and take it from you, just kind of like put it in his vest. And then he'll just mutter, just find a vehicle, find the kids, get back home. And he'll go back to trying to stumble over to the wreckage to find something that's working.
Okay. Robin turns to you guys, letting you go on your way. He goes, the scrappers are plenty good at prosthetics. There's plenty back at the shop. And considering all of this, I mean, even not considering all of this, but definitely considering all of this, no one's going to expect a trade. We'll get it sorted as these things go. But he does make a fine point. Let's get to work. We don't need to harvest everything, by the way. We'll send a team out.
I'm going to assist Silhouette finding the appropriate parts for our phones.
No rolls. You guys head around to the jets and to the rovers, and Silhouette deftly just like harvests. She just opens them up. She only looks at them for a minute each, like, oh, okay, yeah, I get this. She opens up the panels. She takes out the circuit boards delicately, and she places them very gently in like styrofoam sort of compartments that are meant to keep them safe from the elements.
Unbelt my poncho and hold it out so it's like a big carrying basket.
Yeah. You only harvest what you need, and it only takes you maybe 15 minutes, if that. And that mostly just comes from the delicate work of removing it. But you get what you need, what you came for.
And for a transportation vehicle of our own?
You can lay claim to one, but we'd be hard pressed to haul an entire vehicle back to Stonekeep right now with this equipment.
There's like none that are like in working order, or like could be easily made in working order.
Or are there any that have a med bay? Like, did one of the jets have any sort of?
Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, you can find like medical supplies and stuff for
For
sure.
Jeremy, if we can do anything to get that arm in better shape.
You're looking at it, and it is clearly like, again, Haramon seems to have disinfected it, and it's already
Okay, good.
cauterized. It seems like it doesn't really need more attention.
Perfect. Sorry, I was confused.
No,
I
it's fine.
heard Jeremy. I came back when Jeremy put the arm in his thing, and I was like,
Ah.
oh, it's that.
Yeah. I mean,
Sorry.
it is that bad, but
Yeah, no, it is.
Yeah.
I think Haramon will force Jeremy to stay still long enough to at least wrap it and shove some painkiller in his mouth.
Jeremy will let you wrap it, but he doesn't take the painkiller. He'll just kind of like, Bleh.
Okay.
I think you're in shock too right now, Jeremy. So the pain is not really that much. Yeah.
That's dangerous though, and Haramon knows it.
Oh yeah.
On the subject of vehicles, Silhouette's looking around, and you see what she says very clearly. And she tells you, these are things of warfare, and specifically desert warfare. Not a lot of hovering. We have flying jets that are crashed, and we have rovers that have tires. These things have been here for a long time. The elements are not kind to tires. So to try and tow one of these things, we need spare tires. I can change them for sure, but finding more tires might be an issue right now. I don't really think that's exactly within our power at the moment. But we can come back and tow something when we have the ability to, right?
Quick question out of character. How many seats do those jets have? Are they like single
They're like,
seaters?
yeah, I think the actual jets themselves are like 2-person, almost like fighter jets, where it's like person in the front, person in the back. But yeah, but I think you do notice one that is more of almost like a carrier.
Big boy.
That looks promising.
None that can like do the whole Harrier jump jet vertical takeoff.
I don't know what any of those words mean.
Basically, it can just, instead of like having a runway, it can just go. Woo,
oh yeah, they're all on repulsors. They can all do that. That's just
Oh.
standard technology of the era.
That's awesome.
Pretty
Yeah.
swaggy.
Yeah. But you harvest what you need, and you're looking around, and Silhouette goes, I mean, do we expect to find Aaron's body? I kind of don't.
I mean, we just came across a teleporter who disappeared.
And matches the description pretty well. We're on the same page, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're not going to find a body.
No. And even if we did, a year in this desert.
Not kind.
Probably would be, anyone in this desert would probably be way down.
We should get back then.
Yeah.
The sooner we get back, the sooner we can come back. And the sooner I can set up a lab and get everything sorted.
Yeah, the sooner we can contact Mom, the better.
Right. So you all load up back into the skiff. Begin to head off toward Stone Keep once again. And as you go, Bang Bang, you can't shake that feeling. The after image of seeing the shadow, hearing your name again.
She keeps looking back at where the robot was, even after it's disappeared long into the distance.
And you don't see it. The shadow never reappears, but your body just feels this like sterile coldness. It's a physical sensation.
I think she tries to put on a jacket or do something to warm herself, but I just
Yeah.
don't think that. I think it's that kind of sickly coldness, the sweaty, clammy, sickly coldness.
It is kind of a specific coldness for sure. It doesn't feel like you're freezing, but it feels like it's not just the elements of the desert. You don't feel the heat of the desert. You feel like you're standing in a cold room under a vent or in front of a fridge, and it sticks with you.
BB being who she is and having studied what she has, would she know if this was the lingering effects of a power, or is this just body reacting?
Interesting. Go ahead and make me an intelligence roll just to sort of analyze the moment compared to your experience.
One out of two.
1 out of 2. There have been people with cold powers before. You haven't encountered any, not here anyway. The only you could think of like White Wolf back home, but you can't really cite anything specific in terms of an after image of a power. There is that cold tingling sensation, like the psychosomatic feeling of something cold reaching for you. You remember it felt a little bit like that the first time at the party when you saw the shadows.
Oh yeah, for sure.
That feeling, it didn't linger this long, and it felt more clearly psychosomatic. Right now you're wondering, is this just affecting me more now, or is there a physical effect of whoever this is? I think that's as far as you get.
Got it. Yeah, I share that like I can't shake this feeling with the group. But I don't know if I say anything else other than that. I just keep kind of staring back. Also occasionally staring at Jeremy's arm.
Mm-hmm. You didn't take a bunch of heavy stuff. I think something was harvested from maybe one of the claws or something to prove that this thing was dead.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the only extra weight. But it's still like not as much, not so much that it weighs you down. So it still takes about an hour. But once you can see Stonekeep on the horizon, you all notice that something isn't quite right.
Fuck.
Oh no.
There is smoke rising from it up onto the horizon. Robin starts to kick this thing into high gear, but he doesn't say anything. You zoom, not into the garage, but straight under the archway, into the stonework, into the central market. And you look around and there is not a soul. Well, not a living soul. Every structure has been destroyed. There are the bodies of people who you might have seen while you were out and about. One of them being Sawtooth Choi, slumped over, looks like she's been...
Fuck.
It's not clear, but she was clearly fighting. Some sort of battle occurred here, and there is nothing left. Robin gets up and immediately runs wordlessly to the garage. But BB, as you're looking at this, that coldness stays with you. And once again, you hear in the back of your mind, Bailey, look. And there's like this feeling of silence. And you now feel that there is a tether. There is something on that darkness and that coldness, that feeling. And it's...
Can I try to think something back to it?
You can, yeah.
I say, run.
And what you get back is... no. And whatever that voice is, whatever that feeling is, there's a childlike fear that crawls across the tether to you. It shifts, it's different, it's not the same. And you're looking around at this, and the air is shimmering with the heat, but it registers differently in your mind than the others.
Mm-hmm.
And you see a single figure step out from an alleyway between two sort of market squares, or Market stalls, rather. And he steps out, and you see that he's holding this green apple as he takes a bite from it. And you see this dark gray suit and those same pale blue eyes of Veritas, his hair neatly parted, as he steps out and he looks over you, not smiling, but knowing. He's the only living person around in the
She
entire
takes a
city.
shot.
You take a shot.
Yeah.
Okay.
Can I also, two things.
Mhm.
When we see smoke rising, can I just do one more for everyone who got hurt? And then as we're surveying the scene, can I make a check also to determine if this is an illusion or if this is real?
What is your reasoning for why you think this is an illusion? Why would Haramon come to that conclusion?
You said it's shimmering.
I did, but I said it's like there's the heat shimmer on the air. It's different. For you guys, it seems the same. For BB, something about that shimmer feels off, but that is exclusive to BB.
5 out of 4 crit on the power die.
But
Up off,
also,
queen.
Yeah,
this is a lot.
on site.
This is a lot, right? So if someone were trying to fuck with us, this would probably be a way to do it, of like, oh no, everyone's dead. It's more of a like, wait a minute, before,
Okay.
Like us covering all bases.
That's fair. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I didn't want it to be a meta thing where you're
Okay.
just taking my description for BB.
Right.
But
I thought
if
it was,
Haramon
I thought
would
it was a
think that
description for everyone.
it was in the sense of everyone sees the shimmer, but I
Yeah.
wanted to specify that BB it felt wrong.
Okay.
But you come to that conclusion yourself in a way I think is natural. So I'm going to let you make an active willpower check.
Active willpower. Uh-oh. That's only a 1 out of 3.
1 out of 3.
Yeah.
Okay.
Ruh-roh.
It's possible.
But it seems
But
pretty damn real.
It feels real. The smell of it. It's in your mind. This is a very elaborate illusion if it's true. But BB, you take that shot. He doesn't try to avoid it. But as you do take the shot, it seems to pass through him. And as it sails off into empty air, you all see the shot ricochet off of empty air, of nothing, and deflect straight back. And you all duck. I won't make you roll for it, but it sails the shot over your head and it ricochets back and then like again onto the ground. But there's no effect in the sand. And the shot just fizzles out. And he looks at it and then back up at you.
Games are fun if you're willing to play them, but I'm not.
That's good. Then I think we've gotten as much as we can out of seeing what is possible. What I'm willing to do. I told you before. I'm not like my predecessor, willing to force change on people who will not make it last. But if this is what it takes for you to join me, for you to help me, help the world, this is what you can expect. But I don't think that'll be necessary. He looks up and the entire scene melts away. And BB, that coldness that you felt remains and starts to make sense. And then the rest of you feel it too. As Stonekeep melts away, what you see around you are metal, silver walls and a wide circular chamber. You see on the far wall where you're facing, there's a black pockmark. Not a dent, just a scorch, where you see BB's shot, head connected. Veritas steps up alongside you all as you take in your surroundings. All across, scattered around on the edges of, like evenly spaced out amongst each other, are these chambers, almost like pods, made of metal. Each of them about the size of, a little larger than the size of a person. They all have a window at about face height that is fogged over with cold. Looking at the faces contained inside, the sleeping faces, you see Norman, you see Kate, you see what you can only imagine is Aaron. And there's another, but it's covered over. The window there's a protective layer of metal, so you can't see inside. And you look behind you to where Veritas had been standing, and there is a closed door, like an industrial strength metal vault door that seals in the cold of this chamber. And you all realize that moment, that sand cloud, something got into your mind. You were never in Stone Keep. Not this time, anyway. And as you're looking behind you, you do notice another figure. Slack-faced, sitting in a hovering chair, wearing little more than almost like a hospital gown, with electrodes stuck all through on his temples and all across his head, which is largely shaved as well, only slightly grown out. Appears to also be Norman, just staring ahead. And Veritas looks back at him and over to you. And he says, "If it's any consolation, you did defeat the Sentinel. But you can imagine how we found you. Power you have scarcely dreamed of. Power that I'll show you and offer you if you'll use it to help. But I need you here. Somehow I don't think it'll take much more convincing. There's someone I think you'd like to meet." He steps over to the final pod. He places his hand over a sensor, and the metal sort of covering over the window opens, and you see the face inside. But this one does not sleep with his eyes closed. His eyes are wide open, hawk-like and yellow. Younger, though the normally unlined face of this man is kind of ageless in itself, but this is some version, some clone of a younger Dr. Guest. Are you ready to listen? And that's where we'll pick up next time.
Ba-da-ba-ba-da-ba.
Oh man, you guys.
Is Jeremy's arm still fucked up? That would be what BB immediately looks at once the things all fades away.
Oh yeah, I will readily tell you the effects of the battle. You are in the exact same
Thought so.
state you were in at the end of the battle. So it does seem clear that he was telling the truth. You are, that much was real. That much did happen. But
Oh,
BB,
we actually wait.
yeah, you fought the Sentinel. But
Okay.
BB,
Oh,
when
oh.
that big, when the Sentinel died and that cloud of sand kicked up all around you, and I had you all roll a will save, that will save was actually against this false Norman getting into your minds.
For sure.
And everything you saw from that point was what Veritas wanted you to see. You
Okay.
never went back to Stonekeep. You came here.
Is Robin
Okay.
still with us?
Okay.
Is Robin?
Robin
here?
is not with you.
Oh, Robin's fully dead.
Yeah.
Okay, so we were technically in Stonekeep for a while.
Yes.
He just caught up to
everything
us.
that
Got it.
happened
Okay,
up until
Stone.
the end of the fight really happened.
for sure. Okay, damn. I truly thought I was confused, and I thought that he just kind of tricked us and made it look like we were teleported, but really Lane or whoever it was just funneled us into this chamber.
No,
But
there's
damn.
plenty of evidence. I mean, it's fair if you are questioning what is real, totally
Yeah.
fair. But the physical evidence you have is that everything has happened. It's just that your journey back to Stonekeep did not happen.
For sure.
You came here,
Wow,
wherever here is, which I imagine you all can surmise.
that shit's fucked up. We don't like that.
Mm-mm. Mm-mm.
Yep.
Also,
Oh.
I just rolled that heal check and I
Yeah.
got 0.
How?
So I think Haramon's head is hurting pretty hard right now.
Oh yeah.
I got a bit of a headache, and no one gets healed further. Yay! Awesome. Having the worst time, but the
Do you
best
guys want?
time.
Do you guys want a light little goof to end out the episode?
Yes, hit us with the goofs.
Here's
to
my
close
friend.
us out.
Yep. Oh my god.
It's just a little guy. My grandma got this for me. It's a pencil, of Pinocchio. I have no idea why I own this now, but it's
It's
mine.
a lot less terrifying than the new live action Pinocchio.
Oh yeah.
Live action.
This is how we feel currently.
This is how I look
Yeah.
permanently.
Yeah.
Anyways,
Oh man.
end the episode like this.
You guys, well played, well fought. We'll see you next time for something or other.
Yeah.
Oh, something or other. Keep it super. Goodbye.
Bye.
Hey.